How long you been married?
65 years.
65 years.
Yeah.
I'm married 52. 52. Good. Same wife.
Same way.
Same wife.
You know what it is? See, in those days, they hung around. Today, goodbye. Yeah.
Just,
See, first I have to think of, if you have a loaf of bread, and she finds someone else 5 times, if you get 5 slices out of there, you never miss a loaf of bread. But then, you get rid of her 5 slices of bread, you get rid of the soda house. The kids
Everybody.
suffer. Blah, blah, blah.
everybody.
See, what they should have did, is they should have made a law 10 years, if you lost, like you weren't 10 years, then you could do it again. At 5.
Now they kicked you off the squadron, are you not here now?
That's what retirement,
Like you said today,
retirement does for
I
you.
got kids. Everybody proud of them. They have kids.
Please take your head seat, I'm gonna sit down here. Please.
That was a true story.
There's something to do, I think.
That's so good.
You think that's real? There's no way.
You wait till everything, then you.
Right.
Get used to it.
Now,
They got new girlfriend, new boyfriend, all mixed up.
remember we used to go make it
What's that? Sounds right?
How you doing?
How are you, sir? Excuse me. Hey, Jay. How are you? Hello, man.
I wanna get back on the board.
You sure?
Yeah. I wanna be on the beauty committee.
You're early.
You're good for that.
They're not gonna like me, but I'm gonna be on it.
6:40.
Why not?
Thursday, that's the pickup.
This is what you want?
Third.
That's right.
But rise up and
How's your time?
It's good. Some adjustments.
I'm trying to go back. So for a second.
I've had several departments call me and ask me to come. Jupiter started another department.
With the, I met them together.
Tom Judd, remember Tom?
Tom, yeah.
No, I was over there and also we were going to
Jay,
dinner.
You know, a friend of mine is
That was
at
them.
Late House Memorial, trying to get them.
Sounds familiar there, we'll see.
That's why they make them.
Okay. He's on his third.
Laws are made to break.
He should try that next time. I know.
So you break the law, someone has to go.
Highland Beach just started a couple of years ago and you wanna book them.
No.
Book two, my friend, the chief, the chief there.
When you do, then you gotta stay.
You come to work for us? I'm like, no.
And then my house would be green.
So they're supposed to
Instead of white,
consolidate.
because that's for payment.
All right.
Okay.
I was
Yeah.
over.
The president,
I heard something about.
They just separated from the LA.
Oh, that's what it was, okay, so you separated.
Probably 2 years
Just
ago.
tonight's meeting.
Do you know Andy
Yeah,
Victor's?
Buddy, I worked with the chief over there.
Okay.
That was a, I know them all worked.
There
there
are a
years
lot
ago.
of sometimes
So,
looking
we
for
got
this
it.
one, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the Hidden Lake POA, Board Association meeting to order at 6:30 on Wednesday, November 12th. Roll call, we have Eli Alexandra, Kathy Roth, Tom Judge, and Joel Rask. Residents, names, address? Huh?
I put a sign in.
Oh, you did? Oh, cool, perfect, awesome, thank you. That makes things easier. Has everyone read the minutes from the September 17th meeting?
It's the last one.
Yay, yes?
I wrote it. Yes.
You wrote them, you must know them, then. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve them?
I'll make a motion to approve them. I already read them, but.
Second? Kathy, so I'll be secretary tonight too. Kathy, second. Who seconded? Okay, so Tom made motion. All in favor?
Alright.
Aye. Okay, so the president reports, I don't really have anything, I don't know how many. What do I have here?
Hi, guys.
Guys, you gotta sign in. We gotta start the meeting all over again now.
Stop.
6:30.
Yes.
Wait, I forgot to give it.
We have karaoke night?
Yes, some people can't hear,
Sure.
some people can't hear,
Okay.
so.
Singing tonight.
Um,
Extra gym.
But it comes out of there, some people can't hear.
What'd you say?
Alright. So we have a roll call. You guys signed in? Okay, actually, before president's report, I'm sorry. Is there any public comments, public requests from anybody?
Pardon?
Any public requests, public comments, anybody?
The Christmas lights.
Yes, I was up there today working on those.
Now all four of them.
I unplugged the other ones. So they're doing the field loaner up there.
Yeah, 'cause there's only one.
So I'm actually probably just gonna buy myself.
You're what?
Those like two of them got cut. They're like $11 for a set. So I'm just gonna buy myself and replace them.
We don't have any kind of warranty from last.
No, and they're cut.
Cause
we don't know how they
John
cut.
bought it one time, we had a warranty for like 5 years.
No, I mean,
They
no.
were
That's cheap
they
for
were
one
cut?
time.
No, no, 800 was the
They
installation.
buy for one time.
Those we paid to them
That's
installed.
cheap.
We, like, it only cost us like $11 per set of lights.
They
It was
were cut
installation.
by the landscaper?
I don't know who cut them.
Oh, but
We
they're cut,
can't, yeah.
Okay.
So I was up there, I pigtailed a couple of them together today, but two of the outlets are out, so I shouldn't get them going. But I'm gonna just buy them off Amazon, some new ones. So public request, sorry, that was the only one?
For me so far.
I have two. One, if this meeting's talking about the lake, hiring Larry, that needs to be noticed 2 weeks in advance, and if this meeting wasn't, so I just want that record to be reflected. Two, I think public request should be saved till the end, because
Okay.
if we don't know what comments we're gonna be talked to, or need to talk about, so it just might save some time. So we're not going back and forth at the end, so, that's about it.
Yeah, Robert's rules said either the beginning or the end, it's up to you.
That's fine, go on, hey.
Yeah.
So you have no push them to the end from now on?
I think it makes more sense.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me
fine, yeah.
personally.
That's how the city does it.
But we are a board meeting and not a town hall.
But no, it makes sense, that, you know, that things do come up, and we'll talk about it, you know. President report, I don't really have anything. For President's report right now. Vice President's report?
Okay, well, I wanna speak about this because we got a lot underneath the lake, report. We have a representative there as well.
We'll do your Vice President's report.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of include, the vice president's report, because I was the one that was notified through, Barb, I believe. So Deb Screechman contacted the board,
Could
regarding
you
some.
use the mic?
Can you use the mic and don't talk down, talk up?
Well, I gotta read too, I just, homeowner Deb Screechman contacted the board.
I don't think it's on.
It's not,
It's on.
I
It's
think,
on.
yeah.
alright,
Is there a volume?
so,
But you have to hold, it's a podium.
you got your video going, how's that, alright? It's on,
The picture isn't great. I'll try it.
okay, that's.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Deb Screechman contacted the board regarding deceased ducks in the lake near the shore at the south side of the lake. And I contacted Todd at Solitude regarding this. Todd mentioned it could be avian botulism, okay, I thought I had that right, which is a bacteria that affects waterfowl. Solitude does not remove this, the waterfowl. However, Todd basically explained there was an increase with this among some of his accounts. So at that point, I called Animal Range, who's a company that will come out, licensed and insured, and pick up the ducks for $150 a duck. And will spray a decontamination spray down as well. I talked to an individual by the name of Matt Jones. So I contacted the board, suggestion was made to contact our landscapers, which I did by way of text with Craig from Top Lawn. Craig said they can remove the ducks for less than $100. I went over to where the ducks were, actually there were 3 of them. Photographed where the ducks were, texted it to Craig. Joe and I had a conversation about this as well. And a little bit of a concern about it, was the fact that, you know, being that there's a bacteria maybe involved, we weren't sure if this should be done something professionally with the company. So Craig went over there the following day to the south end of the lake, discovered that the ducks were gone, and found out at about the same time they went over there, I got a text from Kathy, our secretary, next to me here, that Glenn Hauser, homeowner, is he here? No, usually he is. Okay, well, anyway, he removed the ducks, put them in the trash. It happened to be on a Thursday, so they went out in the trash. So a little bit of a concern, only because of the mere fact, I mean, I for one, I've taken a duck out of that lake before, I've taken a bird out of that lake, I've taken a snakehead out of that lake, I've taken a turtle out of that lake, all that were deceased, put them in hefty bags and threw them out in the front. Probably not the best thing that we should be doing or allowing homeowners to do in the future. So maybe, you know, I'm talking to the board here, because maybe we should think about how we're gonna handle this in the future, because I don't want anybody getting sick. I did Google that, and I found out that they're not harmful to humans, but again, there's it's a bacteria that's involved. Todd, you wanna add a little bit to it, or?
Yeah, so it's, again, I'm not sure what, they must have sprayed something on the shoreline possibly, but it's a vector, basically. It moves through a snail into the water, into the ducks, and then the ducks can transfer it around. So the closest account we had that was having the same thing at the same time was over at Boca Brick, we call it, the old IBM, Big Blue. They had several ducks die. So the biggest thing found, I think I said to you, was to look for other ducks. It's also called limberneck disease. And that means what happens is it starts to affect the duck's nervous system, and they have trouble lifting their head up. So what happens is that they don't die, they die because they can't lift their head, so they end up not being able to eat, and if they're in the lake, they can actually drown.
Like paralysis?
It's like a paralysis, yes. So it's fairly typical with the Muscovy ducks. Less so with the native birds, but it will get into mallards and the mottled ducks. But
what do you suggest or recommend, or do you know of any other?
There's absolutely nothing we can do in the lake that directly. So I should say that when we spray for algae, that copper sulfate will actually, if there's any of that bacteria or viruses in that area, will actually impact that. But it's you don't know where it is. You can't go in. It would be very difficult to even go find it and test for them in the lake. You could collect a snail and look for it in the snail, but none of that's really worth, because it's not harmful to humans. It's so no, it's the reason it's called avian botulism. It really affects just aquatic birds.
The gentleman that I spoke to, Matt Jones at Rangers or whatever it is, he did say that they can send it to a lab, but being that it was in the water for so long, it would not be advisable, I guess.
Yeah, even if you get a duck that just recently just died, even then, again, is it worth sending it out,
Autopsy.
having it looked at? What's that?
Doing an autopsy?
That's exactly.
That's different.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had a customer do it. It's the same when sometimes when fish dies, you can take an idea of what it was, but is it actually worth sending them out?
So what do you want, is there anything the board wants to add to it? Because what do you wanna do for future? Just let homeowners pick these ducks up?
I think my main concern was just like, if it spreads to pets, kids, anything like that, that was my main concern.
No, so think about it like swimmer's itch.
$850.
It gets into your skin, it gets in there, it can't do anything, it dies, and then it irritates your
Okay.
skin. So it's, we are not a host, a dog's not a host, humans are not hosts for the actual organism that causes it.
Top Lawn did mention that they do this quite often. Not often, but I mean, often enough where they just handle it.
It will go in phases. The summertime is more typical, so these ducks dying, it actually could be related to all the rain, all the water getting in, it caused that. It could have been a duck from, 2 miles away, 10 miles away, flew in here, carried it with it, and it spread. I've seen one duck die, I've seen 30 to 40 of them die. And, but 90% of the time, it's been the Muscovies, the non-native species.
Future reference, let the landscapers do it?
Yeah, just, they'll take care of it, let them do it.
They've done it before, they said.
Yeah.
Let Glenn do it.
Oh, yeah.
For free.
Well, how much less
Someone wants to do it, let them do it.
Landscapers are doing it for like, or they said like 50, I don't know, 50, 75 hours.
If Glenn wants to do it for free, that's all I'm
Yeah,
complaining to us about
yeah.
doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the
they
thing.
probably have dumpsters that they dump their debris in, so they, like fish, we triple bag it and throw it in a dumpster to dispose of it.
That's how I did before.
Coyotes don't get it.
But I made sure I had gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Couple other things, it's gonna wait.
Okay, so Secretary's report, we have $87,795.90 in the bank, and we have 14 outstanding undues.
Oh, wait, I got two here.
So I wanna start sending, instead of doing the email, right, Liz, send a letter as well. When it goes out, it's like 85 cents or 90 cents per unit, so you're talking like $100. And so, because not everyone's opening their emails, not everyone's getting the email, so send them a physical copy as well. That's okay with you guys.
One of those has a late charge on it as well,
Okay.
but, I mean,
I'll do these later.
87 cents.
Yeah, ultimate amount, so they get physical copies.
No, I think it's $1 something.
Is it $1 something? Oh, so,
Why don't we just send the email and then whoever is delinquent, you can follow up with a letter.
well, I'd like to get to them before they have to pay a late fee. That's, not everyone gets it the first time, so I had to send it,
We spoke out of turn, I'm sorry.
I think I sent it 4 times. I usually handle the POA site. I've sent 4 since the beginning, emails. And there are some
Then
people who
after the
just,
second,
some people who just don't. Until months later.
I know Bonnie, so you asked for a thing for, I was trying to scramble, I don't know how the breakdown, I have to get all the attorney's fees.
Is that for me? I'm gonna get it.
Huh? Oh, no, it's just the whole thing I printed out, I can get this to you now, this is basically how, this I did a, ledger for each one, so we are, I have another check from tonight, we're at about 12,000 and change for attorney's fees this year.
Is that just for the lake?
I don't know what, no, that's total, that's where it's total, so I have to get the whole itemized, bills from the attorney for that, to see what's what. And they are itemized and given to us, but I never keep them on hand, or we have them in storage. I can start scanning them, I guess, cause I mean, it's more stuff.
That's why I'm treasurer.
Yeah. But I knew you wanted that, so I tried to get something for you. And then other than that, that's it for Secretary's report. And that's a pay wage report too. Treasury, so we're on to you. Lake report. How's everyone like the pay wage thing? I mean, better boss person, okay. Saving us money.
Saving us a lot of money.
Saving us a lot of money. Okay. And I think Aaron may take it over.
Yay.
So I may sit with him, see if he, he's like, wait, what?
What's it pay?
Yeah, so I'm gonna see if you like it. If you doesn't wanna do it, no, there's no obligation, but if you wanna do it, you wanna, I'll
No,
work with you. It's really not hard.
No, Joe.
If you don't have to do it, then turn around, grab them all night, and pick them up, it's easy. Okay.
Okay. but in the interest of time, cause I know you have to go soon, Todd's here to discuss a lake analysis that we're pretty much probably overdue to have. And he's gonna explain more about what the lake analysis entails. Did you get a quote?
No, but I can tell you it's $850.
Oh, why not?
Yes.
Used to be 5 something,
Yeah.
it's been a while,
It's
but
been
in
a
any
while,
event,
yeah.
maybe you do more for that. But you know what, let me just segue to you because,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so in the past, we've, prior to the aeration system going in, after the aeration system going in, it's been a few years, I think, I don't even, if it's been 3 or 4 maybe. What we do is what's called a enhanced water body assessment. We take samples at 2 feet below the surface, 2 feet off the bottom in the deepest location of the lake. We're going to, the simple stuff is temperature profile, dissolved oxygen profile. Temperature is not super important, it's just part of the probe that we have, so we record it as you go down. This time of year, there's maybe a little bit of stratification, but I doubt it because of the aeration system. We're looking at the dissolved oxygen profile from top to bottom, because as long as there's plenty of oxygen at the bottom, over 2-3 parts per million, that means the aeration system's functioning properly, and there's enough oxygen on the bottom to promote beneficial bacteria, which is what keeps the mud layer from building up, prevents the fish kills that you guys used to have when the lake would turn over. We also test for pH at both the surface and the bottom. Good reading, I can tell you that's gonna come somewhere in the high 7s, low 8s, top and bottom. The other most important things we're testing for is your nutrient levels. Total nitrogen, total phosphorus at the surface, total nitrogen, total phosphorus at the bottom. That tells us what's happening with the beneficial bacteria, what's happening with the food chain. Also look at ammonia levels, just like a fish tank, or ammonia is what kills your fish after dissolved oxygen. So we're going to look at those levels. I expect everything to be within normal range, because the aeration system has done such a good job, over the years since it's been put in. But it does give you a snapshot of what the lake is like the day we take the samples.
What about coliform?
We can't add bacteria. We've done bacteria in the past. We could look at that, but
Sometimes we
the key to the bacteria is we send that out and get the results in about 5 days. But again, that one more than as much as the others, if not more, we can grab the sample, and whatever we find is what happened at that day, at that time, at that sample location. It doesn't give us an idea. There could be E. coli or a total coliform bacteria somewhere else in the lake. Could be along the shoreline, so that's an interesting one to test for as part of this. So if you wanted to truly get an idea, you probably want to take 7 or 8 samples around the lake, which again, that's you're getting towards $1,400 just for those. That would give you a better picture of the bacteria levels. But in the past, we've only done one location. So I just want to be clear that you get data, and if that data shows anything to us, then we would follow the protocol. But in 35 years now, 34 years, I've only had one test where it was high enough to retest. And we went back the next day or the second day after they approved the money, and the bacteria was fine.
So it's not necessary.
I don't know if it's worth the added cost.
But we've
You've
had it done
before and everything's been fine.
Right.
I have an account down in Miami that does it every month because they water ski in the lake,
Yeah.
and they've never had issues. But they do it just for the benefit of the fact they know people water ski in it every day.
And the nutrients have to do a lot with the runoff?
So nutrients are impacted by runoff, it's impacted by what we spray. If the lake had algae 30 feet around it, and we sampled, we're going to probably get a lower nutrient level than we was no algae around the lake, because the nutrients are tied up in the algae. Now, if we were to come in and spray the lake, and then come out 3 to 5 days later and take samples, we would probably get a higher level, because that algae is decomposing, the nitrogen and phosphorus is being released into the water. So, right now, there's not an algae issue, Vallisneria is dying, but we're going to go, the best snapshot you can get is to take it in the deepest spot. So we're gonna go out, get to the deepest spot, take this, like I said, take the sample 2 feet below the surface, and then the bottom one is 2 feet off the surface.
What about the canal?
Huh?
The canal as well?
The canal we talked about, the canal would be probably only a couple $100 to test, because it's so shallow. The only thing we would do there was grab a sample a foot or 2 below the surface. There's no reason that it's not deep enough to get in real data. The data 2 feet off the surface is not gonna be much different than if it was 4 feet. So there's no reason to do that type of test on the canal.
But it's still tested with the same principle?
It would, yeah, we would just do surface graphs, which is why.
I see a lot of like Cape grass,
Mm-hmm.
that landed up, behind Andy Hagen's house.
Yes.
It was huge on it, that stuff grows right to the surface.
Yeah, it'll grow 10
And
feet.
the canal as well?
Yeah, yeah, it's a beneficial
Yeah,
plant.
it's beneficial, yeah.
It's really the only native habitat in the water, in the lake and the canal. Everything else is non-native, so that's why you would, at some point, you try to balance it and leave it. Helps filter the water, helps reduce those nutrients that are getting to the bottom.
Doesn't help with, Joe's fishing line.
Well, if you wanna catch fish, you better have some plants in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Is the alligator weed bad?
It's a native, but it's a nuisance species, so it's not bad only from the standpoint that if you don't do anything about it, it'll continue to grow.
I have it
into the water.
I see it at the shoreline, I
Yeah.
took a picture and it's
Yeah,
an alligator.
if we were to stop spraying it, it could literally grow 5 to 10 feet out into the lake. But right now,
You spray it though.
anything along the shoreline, the grasses, the alligator weed, the pennywort, which is dollar weed that you get in your yards, that stuff, again, helps stabilize the shoreline.
Does anybody wanna make a motion that we do this lake analysis?
Do it once a year?
Well, we haven't done it in a couple of years, but
Oh, yeah?
no.
Once a year, okay,
But, I mean, you
So
could
let me
say-
add to this, so I didn't really talk about frequency, so to get great data to where we could come back and say, hey, this is what your lake's doing, you would do quarterly testing. We've got a long history here, so if you wanted to do a test in the, quote, fall, winter
Yeah.
time for Florida, if you wanted to get the most opposite data that you might get, you would do it in July, August, September, when it's the hottest. When the lake temperature at the surface is 92,
Stuff's actually
94 degrees.
That's when we used to do it.
That gives you that snapshot. I think we did several tests before the aeration system went in, because
Oh, yeah.
if customers wanna know how bad the lake can get at certain times, testing in the middle of the summer is when the lakes, and even up north, because they stratify up north, you test in the summer. That's when you typically will get the worst, quote, possible data. Because again, temperatures are hotter, it's raining, there's more stuff going into the lake. You don't have to worry about stratification anymore because of the aeration system, but when we started this, the bottom 10 feet of the big lake, of the lake itself, maybe the bottom 12 feet out in the middle had 0 oxygen. So anywhere,
that was pre-aeration.
that was, pre-aeration. And
Which was nice.
within 6
Down.
months, there was no stratification whatsoever.
Okay.
That's-
And the only
that's
reason
what
I
it
wanna
does.
do it is, there are kids who paddleboard and sometimes swimming there, it's only that I wanna do it, but do you think we need to do it?
The testing for the, it just gives you an idea of where you're at.
Okay.
If you're concerned about the health of the lake in terms of people using it, then.
I'm not skiing, but
Yeah.
like you said, there are.
But if
kids
they're in their
sometimes
paddles,
paddleboard,
so if you were to
kayak
do
out there.
that, then I would recommend maybe quarterly bacteria, fecal coliform, total coliform bacteria testing.
How much does that cost?
That's like $250, $300 a test.
I know, yeah, I just do like once a year, the $895 one for doing that.
That's for the coliform now?
That would be bacteria testing, yeah.
And then include the canal?
Yeah, and that's,
Include the canal?
not including the canal, no, it's based on the samples. So, no, the canal is a completely And cause it's so shallow.
Someone do it?
I mean, it's something that we've done consistently before. I mean, I guess, as I said, my only concern is there are kids and sometimes dogs, I see it get in the lake, it's
I
sometimes.
think we should do that. I think we should do that.
Okay.
Do we have a sign out there, no swimming or swim at your own risk or anything like that? What's that?
This just said trespassing.
Not swimming, no. I mean, we don't have a sign that says no swimming. No.
No.
Maybe we should.
Hopefully it says there's no swimming, no fishing, no entering the water whatsoever.
They don't have to worry about all this.
So, I mean,
Yeah, their lake is hard to get out of if you end up in it, because of the slope.
I mean, if we did test like biannually, I mean, every 2 years, would that be a good, you know,
For the bacteria,
yeah,
it just gives you data for that day and that time.
okay.
I mean, it's still data, but it's not, you can't really make, I mean, all you can say is, okay, yeah, we don't appear to have a problem.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a tough one to decide,
Yeah.
there's no good answer for that. It's, like I said, the ones that do.
I'm gonna let Tom go
Yeah.
somewhere around out there for a few days,
Oh, here we
and
go.
see if he gets any tests at all, then we'll give you a call back.
Yeah,
I don't, I mean, like I said, my only concern is there are kids who do kayak and paddleboard
Yeah,
up there.
there's a lot of kids
That's,
that
it's
do
kind of the
use it.
amenity of the lake for the families who are on the lake. So yeah, man, I don't see a problem doing it. Just once a year, not the quarterly thing though, just do it once a year.
okay.
You don't wanna vote on that?
I'll make a motion to do, what's it called, the
It would be total and fecal coliform bacteria.
total and fecal coliform bacteria test.
It's difficult.
And that's gonna be on the canal too?
We can add the canal if you'd like to.
How much would that cost?
It's, the price is double, it would just be, it's based on the samples, it's literally based on the samples.
Really? I thought the canal was included, Todd.
No.
If I show you differently, will you,
Sure.
consider?
Yeah,
Cause I'll have to look back at it.
cause we should have that stuff as well.
I mean, I'd like to do what happens in the lake and the canal too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
just
I
my
mean,
thought.
people are in there sometimes doing their sprinkler, their suction thing
Sure.
and all, and
Yeah.
I know I've been in that lake chest high.
Yeah, I live on
My
the city of
little-
Boynton Canal, you know, Tom, up in Gulfview Harbor,
Yeah,
so yeah, I go in there when I have to, we used to ski in water.
Is there any wiggle room on the price at all?
What's that?
Is there any wiggle room on the price at all?
A
For
little
being a
bit,
long-term,
yeah, sure. It's all, it would be collected when we're here, so you don't, it's not like you're paying separate, so. But I'll get the exact cost and then.
figure something out.
Yeah.
Let's get an exact cost and then, kinda, I'd like, if we're gonna do it to lake, we should do it to canal too.
yeah.
I mean, even though we
agree.
only have half the canal, it's, I mean, it's,
I agree with that, I mean, yeah.
are they testing over,
Done
are they
before.
doing it?
Yeah.
In both of these states, on their, down to lake?
Yeah, the last time that lake was tested was 100 years ago when the aeration system went in. I don't even remember how that could be.
If there's an aeration
It literally could be 30 years ago.
If there's an aeration system going, what are the odds of actually getting bacteria growth in there? with the aeration?
That, it's less, but it doesn't have that direct of a cost. The bacteria is going to be coming from ducks, turtles,
Okay,
dogs,
okay,
runoff, any runoff, it's all how you manage the property
okay.
and what's going on in the streets.
We just had 3 ducks die, if that means anything.
Yeah, unrelated, it's
Okay.
completely unrelated, yeah,
Unrelated.
it's unrelated.
Okay. Yeah, could you just get like a firm price for both of them, so we can look at it?
For sure.
Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna hold on till our next meeting, he's gonna get us a firm price, we can do it for, on both the canal and the lake, and then we'll talk about the next meeting. Alright. Canal report, or was that already tied into that?
Yeah, I guess it's tied into that, you guys, treat it, let me see.
Does anyone on the
We had-
canal this year, did anything they wanna bring up at all? Any concerns?
Thank you.
Okay.
We had, solitude treat, okay. You guy didn't leave me a report, and we had a discussion about this, and thank you for screenshotting the fact that he was GPSed out here, and forwarded to me, and I forwarded that to the board, so in fact, he was here on October 18th, treated the lake as well as the canal, and the inspection of the aerators and maintenance was completed on October 6th, 2025. Is that a yearly thing now?
That's semi-annual.
Semi-annual, okay. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure that was mentioned,
Yeah. How long does aeration, how long does that thing gonna last, that system?
So, I'd have to look back, but they don't, so what's in the water pretty much will last forever.
The pump though, like how long
The
does it?
pump, that varies 3, 10, anywhere from 3 to 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty typical, I forget the warranty was like 5 years, and then it's a 1 year every time we replace it, but,
Or yeah, the warranty.
yeah, some of them, I can't explain it, some will last forever, meaning 8 to 10 years, and some of them won't. A lot of times it's electrical,
Yeah, okay.
but that was, I think, when we went through all of that, we made sure that what was set up there was more than enough for what the
Oh,
area
yeah.
needed, and then if you ever decided to do a floating fountain, that was set up as well, so it's not,
Do-
you won't have power issues because of how it's been set up. And
Yeah.
that's
Do
what
we
will
need to be
kill it.
running all those pumps, or could we like offset them?
You have to run them all.
You have to, there's no way to like offset them in case.
we can time them.
You could put them on a timer
You can time it.
and have them not run, say, during the day.
Well, yeah,
You could rotate. It's not gonna, it'll save you $30 a month in electricity maybe,
Okay,
but you're not gonna benefit the lake as much.
okay,
But they're designed to run 24 hours.
okay.
There was also a question about, I hate that word erosion, but the aeration's causing the erosion on the banks of the canal, on the lake. I know, I just wanna make sure that you don't see that ever
It's,
happen.
like, you know, like we've talked before, it's a lot of it's wind driven with wave action. The way everything's built up, water levels go up, they go down, they pull soil out, it's just a natural process of what happens, and, you know, unless you do something to reduce it or deter it. Large lakes will put plants on one side, and by large lake, I'm talking lakes we do that are 20, 25, 30, 100-acre lakes. So you got this, you know, 3,000 feet across one side of it, and if the wind's coming out of the east, the west side of the lake is getting hammered.
Along
So
the arc.
they'll do things to reduce that wave action.
So, as everybody knows, we got a lot of rain recently. And Joe and myself were, well, let me just start off by saying, I contacted Zach Beer to find out what are they doing about our lake going up and basically going past the overfill structure. And Zach happened to be in the area. I called him on the 27th, the following day after all that rain that we got. So he came out, he met me and Joe at the south end. I basically texted Joe and the three of us met over there. And, so Hidden Lake received an amount of 6.7 inches of rain within 90 minutes. I took a copy of the map that he showed me from his phone. And that's a lot of water. It was basically overwhelmed, but in his estimation, the time frame, let's see, Zach showed us the table from the National Weather Service. Zach said that they had a pressure drain on the canal, to the C-15 canal, that since 7 p.m. the night before. It's referred to as the Texas Trail Ditch, and that's on the north side. And that takes that water from the lake and the canal into the Texas Trail Ditch and then into the C-15 canal, which leads to the ocean crossway. He said, and I quote, this is unprecedented in the past 50 to 100 years that he's been informed with other employees and other records within the city of Boca. He said that the drainage performed better than he expected based on the amount of rain that we had. 6.7 inches within 2 hours and a total of 7 to 8 inches of rain in our area. So basically, they were gonna contact Lake Worth Drainage, District as well as South Florida Water Management to see what they were gonna do as far as lowering their canals. We asked if it was working properly, he did say yes, this was a 5 to 10 year storm event. And then the question came up, does this affect the erosion in the lake? In his professional opinion, he said no. Erosion is caused by the velocity of water against lake veins, essentially causing washouts. Consider this as a wall of water rushing down, pulling soil into the lake. At the present time, the height of the water at the time was stagnant, it was still, it was actually protecting it from eroding anymore. So after that, I spoke to him today, and he was gonna send me a post-report, conclusion report. He did not. I have to follow up and say, and basically put that out there as well, but, you know, it was one of those things. We had high tide, we had full moon, I mean, all these things came together, and I don't know if everybody was here, but it was pretty wild. I mean, we got a lot of water quick. And, you know, I took a picture of it with Joe out there, and I blew it up. And that's the water, lake water over the, outfall. And it's pretty amazing how clear that water is, so I gotta tell you. Todd, you know better than I do, but that water runoff that's coming, it's not like the canal is getting dirty water. It's just getting Mother Nature's water from going over the overfill through the side drain first, and then that got overwhelmed, and then it was just, and at that point, it basically equalized because the L40 was. So then I called, because I didn't hear back from him, I called Lakewood or South Florida Water Management. They passed the buck to Lakewood Drainage District, like they've been infamous for doing, and that's fine. So then I got a hold of a guy by the name of David, he's a PIO for Lakewood Drainage District. The L40 is where it ends, where we're at. That's their furthest northeast section for Lakewood Drainage there. And everything else is based on gravity. And it just flows out when it flows out. However, if they had known that this was a hurricane coming, or we had a storm coming, that's when they start lowering the canals, before that happened. This came down quick, and nobody had any clue that this was gonna come down that fast, that hard, and that much. So, that being said, they don't lower the canals at that point. They let the elevation and gravity do their thing. And that's basically what I was told in a nutshell. But it was pretty interesting. Yeah, the lake is designed to fill up, he said, the lake and canal. Gravity, we had record rainfall on a high tide. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my notes on how that took place. But I'm glad that we weren't, we were pretty fortunate. You look in some other neighborhoods in Boca Farms and stuff, they're probably not far from where you're at. That water got up pretty high. I saw the garage levels on some of the videos, right, Joe? You saw it too.
So I thought that canal drained out and went straight west
Where?
from our lake. The lake goes into the canal, like drainage ditch, and then goes down straight west,
The L40?
doesn't it?
I know it goes into the canal and then down the canal river.
Cause I don't see how it gets to from there up to the Texas Trail. That's not right. So my whole thing when I saw this, I'm like, this outflow, I could be completely wrong, but it just seems too tall.
No,
Cause,
everything functions exactly like I was supposed to.
okay, like all the
Yeah,
street drains were overflowing and everything.
No, so they're literally designed, if you would've got another 8 inches of water, you still wouldn't have had water in your houses.
Mm-hmm.
They would've drained. And typically what they'll tell you, and I don't know if you've ever asked that, but it's, when I've seen over the years where we've gotten 12 to 19 inches of rain over a weekend with, even in January one year. That happened on a Friday. By the time we got to those accounts on Monday and Tuesday, water level was already back to normal. They're literally designed to take a certain amount of water and drain over a 2 to 3 day period.
Okay.
Now, can they handle 30 inches of rain over a week? Probably not.
Yeah.
They'd have to dump like crazy, and even then it may not keep up, but know, one of the things they typically do this time of year is they won't open it unless there's a storm coming.
Yeah.
Because this is how your lakes get filled up. If these lakes aren't filled up like they are now, then you'd be, as we go into the dry season, could be looking at record lows. So, I live on a City of Boynton Beach canal that's literally, I can look down and I see South Florida that runs along I-95. There's 2 Lake Worth canals in my same neighborhood, it all go to that South Florida canal, all goes to Lake Ida. And my canal is 3 feet higher than it was at the end of September, because they're not releasing the water.
No, I just wanna make sure that outfall isn't too tall, cause of how far it got up,
No,
that was my
no,
concern.
so if you look at that outfall, it's got a hole in it,
Yeah,
so.
and it was just stagnant water though.
Yeah,
Even though,
but the front of it's not, the front of it's open,
but nothing was flowing out, like there was no suction.
that's because it's leveled itself out already.
Okay,
It went down a foot 2 days later, I got a picture of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
so that's, again, that's,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah, you would have known if one way to tell, and again, you only have a lake and a canal and they're connected, but we have communities where the lakes are on different drainage systems and even in the same community, and you would know if one lake's way high and the other one's already drained,
Yeah.
that's telling you have a blockage somewhere,
Okay.
and that's not.
Guys, was there any issue related to the rain, or like, did anything happen, like flood?
No, just the water got high in the lake.
Yeah,
I didn't know,
Um,
like, a
Yeah.
serious
You
question.
wanted to bring it up.
now, I've had,
The lake.
I've had communities send pictures where the water is literally, there's their edge of their patio and the water is right there, I mean, that's literally 3 inches from being in their houses,
Okay.
and that's right at the edge, but they're designed to do that.
Okay. Alright, that's all I'm concerned with.
That's all I have.
Alright. Beautification.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Since Larry's here on Ching Ching, can we go to Larry? Instead of the rest of the agenda before him? Just
Do you wanna do it
a
now, or do you wanna do it, all the comments?
suggestion. I'm just a suggestion that he.
Since he charges.
So get him out of here.
He
Get him
hasn't
out
had
of here.
dinner yet.
Well, I didn't wanna say it that way, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, if you have a question for Larry, let's,
No, I think.
what time did you get here, at 7?
7.
Unless somebody don't have timer.
Okay, it's fine.
I see he's on the agenda, that's what I was gonna mention.
Yeah, and what, I don't even,
Well, then you want me to talk about why I'm here?
Would be good.
Everyone ready? Okay, we can wake up and start, okay? Let's go, all right, here we go. The board contacted me, you're all wondering, why is he back? The board contacted me and said, we got an issue. Here's their issue. Their issue is they've got some homeowners who don't wanna do any maintenance on the lake and don't believe any maintenance is required. It's fine. We've got some homeowners, probably the ones on the lake, who say, we want maintenance on this lake and you're required to do it. So they're between, right? And correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, guys, because I'm doing the talking. So we're between a rock and a hard place. So how do you resolve the rock and a hard place? And they said, well, I said to them back, let's get an expert. Let's get an expert in and tell us what's going on here. That expert came back and said, and correct me here, you have erosion, but that erosion is normal wear and tear erosion, but it is erosion. The word erosion should be used. So now the question is, okay, do we have a responsibility to maintain the erosion and understand why you maintain the lake? You maintain it, why you have this discussion with Solitude, why you do the things. Because you are under an agreement with the city of Boca Raton to maintain the lake. Not one of you, not just the people on the lake, as I've opined, the entire community is under that. The question here is, okay, what's the required maintenance we have to do? Clearly you've talked about, hey, the required maintenance is to do the, say, fecal, whatever, blah, 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 okay? And those things, but the truth is, what about the erosion? And I'm not, let's be honest, people on the lake feel there's immense erosion, people off the lake go, stop. That's what I think. So I drafted a letter at the board's request. And that letter says the following, and I want you to listen because I'm gonna read it to you, and I'm gonna read it to the board. This is to the city of Boca Raton. Dear City of Boca Raton, the undersigned law firm represents Hidden Lake in regard to the maintenance of their lake pursuant to a lake maintenance agreement attached hereto with the City of Boca Raton. That's from 1980, your lake maintenance agreement. The association is concerned about the condition of its lake banks and has hired an engineer who advised that the erosion is typical, but in need of some remediation, which is true, okay?
That's
The
not
asso-
what the letter said though. It didn't say it was in need of remediation.
So it's
From,
aesthetic.
it said if it's maintained this condition, it's likely to maintain it for years to come. If this is for aesthetic purposes, they did not say it was, I'm just saying that's a
Okay.
misleading quote.
Okay.
And if you're sending
Okay.
a lawyer letter to the city of
Let me
Boca,
continue,
Okay.
okay? The association is inquiring as to whether or not the city of Boca Raton would send their engineer, employee, contractor to review the lake slopes and lake and render an opinion as to what, if any, required maintenance is needed. There is a group of residents who believe maintenance should occur immediately, and another group of residents who believe that no maintenance is required. We are looking to the city to not only do a review of the lake, but also render an opinion as to what, if any, maintenance is required pursuant to the lake maintenance agreement attached here to. We look forward to working with you. If your engineer determines that maintenance is necessary, please contact our office at your earliest convenience to discuss the necessary steps. Now, that letter needs to be approved by the board, not by you, I'm sorry, but by the board. It is the board's requirement to either say, Larry, send it as is, amend it to say what we want. That's what I felt they wanted me to write. We had a meeting with the expert at my office with Joel and,
Matt.
Tom was there, and Matt was the expert. And he said exactly what I wrote there. He said, you have erosion, you should remediate, but it is normal erosion for your lake. That's what he said.
Who's Matt?
Matt was the,
The one we got
Matthew
the
Kahn.
the engineer.
Is he Boca?
No,
So he changed.
no one from Boca, no one is
Are we gonna
Boca.
attach his letter to that?
Yes, okay? We're gonna attach everything, no, only the agreement, but I can attach his letter.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
But, okay, but again, I don't want the city to make, I view, this is my retort, I don't want the city to go to Matt's opinion. I want the city to make their own estimation.
But you're
as to
quoting
what-
his opinion, so you might as well attach the original.
We can do that, okay, that's up to the board, we can do that, I hear you.
I have one other comment. So you're saying that we are against maintenance. That's not necessarily true because.
We are against maintenance, okay.
Right, that some residents don't wanna do any maintenance of the lake. Maintenance is different than fixing this, so, quote unquote, erosion, right? We are okay with maintenance that you just discussed, for example.
Let me explain to you what I consider maintenance, and then you can tell
Yeah.
me, okay? Maintenance is, in my view, anything which deals with not improving the lake. So anything which is not an improvement, let's say you have a guardhouse which is 2 stories, and you maintain it. If you build a 3rd story, that's a capital improvement, that's not maintenance. Everything you do to make sure that guardhouse is fine is maintenance. So everything this association does to keep the lake maintained and free from issues, whether it's the slope, whether it's whatever, what Solitude talked about, everything I consider maintenance. That's what I
Okay,
consider.
so that's
So-
misleading again,
well,
because
let me
we
add-
do maintain the lake certain areas.
So when it comes to erosion control, the reason permits aren't required is because counties, specifically South Florida Water Management, has deemed it maintenance and not an improvement, so
I think it's maintenance.
that's how,
And I'm not
that's
trying to
why there's no
mislead you.
I just don't
permits.
want the city to think that half of this development is against any sort of maintaining the lake, and we want, because if you frame it that way, they're gonna say, well, we gotta get on their case and make them do it per Tom's, that's what he wants.
Right.
So, it's not in my opinion, it's not a fair representation of,
Well, I'm trying,
We're
okay,
thinking.
okay, that's fine, and you're entitled to that. What I was trying to do was say to the city, hey, look, we've got a difference of opinion as to what needs to be done, because we do, okay? And please tell us, because we have an agreement with you, or else we wouldn't be maintaining anything. Please tell us what you think needs to be done per your expert. That's what I think the board wanted me to do. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I mean, in addition to that, and I made this clear at our meeting, was that the fact that I made that motion was because of a couple of reasons. Number one, I feel that it's our due diligence to do so. Number two, it's for the safety and the welfare of the people who live here in Hidden Lake. Because I'd hate to see anybody get hurt because of the fact that we decided not to do anything about that 38-inch drop off. When we had an opportunity to maybe put some fill in there.
Which
or
wasn't
cost-
present, and I'm not advocating for any position, but which wasn't present, how many years ago?
10, 15.
Okay.
Right, you guys been on the lake longer than I have. Was it like that all the time?
You only notice it when there's no, when it hasn't rained a lot. I mean, you really, right now, it looks fine.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's nice.
So,
The water's right there.
Well, the initial problem was that Tom said, you know, kind of initially said it was an emergency,
No, I didn't.
$225,000 for a sock. And that's where we were like, whoa, whoa.
That has all been,
Well,
we got
this
the
is
expert, we got
why
everything out, that's
We
not.
don't mind erosion, maintaining the erosion, but we don't want a $225,000 sock. And we've had all kinds of people propose dirt and natural, plants, but they won't listen to anything else we're saying.
Okay, I hear you, that's a valid, good, I mean, that's, I don't know if that's, I don't know what the board's thinking. My letter is so that the city will say, because the city could say, we just believe you need that fixed, or you need to do nothing, or you need to do something. We're trying to get, we don't want, I'm gonna tell you what I want from my league. I don't want a situation where some issue occurs, and then the city says, you failed to maintain and pursue the agreement. That's what I'm talking about. However, this is the board's decision. They can do it. I wrote a letter, they can tell me, we don't want this, we don't want that. It was a draft letter to the board. That's why we have the motion to either approve the letter as is, make amendments to the letter, or not send the letter. Do what you wanna do. I wrote the letter with an idea that, look, some remediation might be necessary. That's what was said to us at this meeting, okay? But again, we can change that too. City, tell us what's going on. We could also change the summary. We could just say the board is at a crossroads as to what to do. I don't have to put the residents in. I just want to make sure they knew that the board was coming to you because, not because they don't know how to maintain it, because they have residents who are different, who think they should maintain it differently than they are.
So essentially, your letter is requesting from the city that their engineer take a look at the lake and give us an idea of what to do, because you've got one company that says this is what you should do, now you're looking at a separate entity to come in and give us an idea.
Right, I don't want the city to think you don't know how to maintain your lake. I want the city to know that you have unless this is not your position, you have residents who say you need to do this, and you have other residents who say, we need to, and I'm not saying the 225 is anything on the page. I say, you need to do this, you need to do that. None of you are experts. We got an expert. He said you have erosion. He said, though, it's normal wear and tear erosion, okay? And it will come back, okay? With that said, the city is the reason you maintain it. So the question is whether we write to the city and say, tell us whether we're doing everything we can. And by the way, the city can come out today when the lake is, as you say, and say, looks great to us. I don't know.
Right, and to use the words of the expert, when he says that's normal wear and tear erosion, that doesn't mean don't do anything about it. If you take your car to the mechanic and he says, hey, you need new tires from normal wear and tear, you're not gonna say, well, I'm not gonna do it, you're gonna get new tires. And not to say that, not to take one position, but that's not saying normal wear and tear doesn't mean don't do anything. Is that correct?
But I will say this, when I first came into this room with you, the question was to do a major project on the lake. I mean, this is not wrong, and to do that. And that was because the board felt, and by the way, had some opinions then, that, hey, this is the best way to go on it. They brought experts in. They didn't sit back and go, this is Tom's position. They brought experts in, okay? And to that end, that is now changed because we've further delved into experts. And now we're stuck with a scenario where do we do maintenance in regards to the erosion? Because there are people who believe the erosion doesn't need to be touched. Just do what we're doing in regards to that treatment, right? So, and there are other people, and Tom may be one of them, but he's not just one. There are others who think, hey, you know what, these lake banks are dangerous. They need to be solved. We need to fix this before, God forbid, someone who's walking those lake banks gets hurt. And then the city comes back and goes, you know what, little Tommy got hurt here, and you failed to maintain it. Am I right?
Well, then you become negligent, I guess, right? Become negligent.
Unless I got something from the city saying, this is normal, you don't have to maintain it anymore. But look, that's what I tried to do in that letter. You can amend, as I said, you can amend it, you can approve it, you can disapprove it, you can do those things. But that's the letter which I thought would be right to send to the city, and hopefully, and the city might do nothing, okay? But they might come out and say, okay, we believe you do this, this, and this. And then the board will take that under advisement in regards to how best to maintain it and how best to do this. I will say this, in all my times of coming here and meeting with you, not one time was a discussion had regarding the concern over money and cost to the residents, and to do this in the right way. One time we talked about building a reserve. I mean, many times. We talked about trying to do this over many years. We talked about, there was never a concern, we go, oh, we're gonna build 225. And I understand that was a discussion, but we never was that. It was always do it over time, try to resolve
We
it
had a
over time.
3-year motion, Larry.
Exactly.
A 3-year motion.
Exactly, I know, I wanna bring that up, because I wanna make sure we all understand on the same page. You have been understanding that. I think at one point, and we talked about raising the maintenance in regards to building a reserve, a minor amount, which it was before, to be able to have this reserve over a period of times and sit back and be able to use it if we can do it, okay? I tried to answer that, long-winded. So it's up to you, and,
So, yeah.
with this.
I mean, one thing is that once the letter goes to the city,
It's all right.
I think that they're gonna go for like, they're not gonna take any responsibility if, like you say, if something happens. So they're definitely gonna push it to do a major maintenance or at least a major maintenance plan. So I think that would be better to find a solution internally, and probably would be cheaper for everybody, I guess. So, because once, I mean, it's like a building department. Once you involve them in something, they make you do everything by the book. And by the book, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more expensive than anything that we're talking about here, so.
I mean, so that's what we talked about, was the 3-year plan, and last time, we have the 5, 7 years, whatever, it's kept going on and on, but we haven't even had half a year, we've had half a year. So I mean, to build reserves up, to actually let something evolve, we need more time than just, you know, it's not gonna be instant gratification, and I understand there is erosion, I'm not gonna say there's not, but after the engineer's report, that's where I'm kind of at, is like, let's work on this internally, let's set our reserves up, and let's do this in 3 years. Let's have the cash there, because I don't wanna enter into a contract now with Solitude, and it's what, $80,000, whatever per section, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden next year we're short. We don't have the money. It's like, okay, now I have to do an assessment. So I'd rather wait 2 to 3 years, do it then, monitor it. If it gets significant, then we address it. But if it doesn't get significant, it's moderate, or there's none at all over the next 2 or 3 years, okay, we have the money in the bank to do it then. But my concern is, we spent a lot with Larry, I love Larry, he knows that. But my concern is with going to the city is, we pay him to do this, and there's a lot of back and forth, I'm sure we build a lot of hours for, you know, whatever they talk about.
Be back and forth.
And nothing comes of it, so we wasted that money. Or the city comes, makes us do it, and does a special assessment from that aspect. So I think, you know, what was your name, sir?
Mario.
Mario, so, I mean, that's my thoughts of that, is like, let's do this internally, let's get to our end of the year, find out where our budget's at, see where we can put money aside out of reserve, and address this like appropriately as we should, and not like have to pay
It's
our.
only because they have to go by the
Well,
book,
yeah,
I'm
but-
sorry.
Well, no, but it's like, I don't think we should have to pay our attorney. I mean, if a resident wants to go talk to the city, that's fine, and bring it up, but I mean, for us to pay our attorney to have them come make us do something, I just don't feel that's right, and we're not getting the full chance to do it ourselves. If that makes sense. Does that make sense, Larry?
Yes, your point is very well taken, and there's been discussion on that. The problem is, in my view, this board has somewhat been paralyzed by the fact that they are concerned that there are residents who do not want any expense for the erosion. Now, I've said, I'm not saying it's true or not, I'm just saying that's
We've
what my.
only given one choice.
Right, okay, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just telling you that that's what's happening, because we are sitting here, because you have spent $12,000.
I know.
And it's because the board, honestly, is trying to avoid, some of them are trying to avoid, some of them are trying to do the maintenance, and some of them are looking at it, and every time they have talked about expense. Well, you're right, If we get the city involved, chances are they will come back and say, you gotta do A, B, and C. Might not be as extensive as what Solitude thinks it needs to be done. I'm not saying Solitude's wrong in any way, shape, or form, but you have been paralyzed in not doing anything to a situation where some of you believe there is a dangerous concern. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. So, as I've said to you many times, and you've spent 12,000 for me to say it many times, this is your responsibility. Your responsibility. Maintenance is your responsibility. And maintenance includes, in my view, making sure that you have areas around the lake which are safe. It doesn't mean you have to put it back to the way it was in 1980. What it means is it has to be safe. And you have to believe that, and that's up to you to decide that issue, and then decide how best to handle it. I've told you we get an expert, we got an expert. I've told you we need to look at raising your assessments to the maximum amount next year and building a reserve for this, so you have it, which is minor monies, small dollars, but again, that will take the years you're talking about. And then I've told you we can write to the city and have the city come out. And then if the city says everything's fine, you're off any liability. It's not unsafe. If the city says you need to do this, then you have more liability and you've got to end. And what you said is absolutely right. The probability is they will come out and say you need to do this. They'll give you plenty of time to do it, but they'll say you got to do this.
So you anticipate the city coming out with a mandate, not a suggestion? Is that what I understand?
You know what? Respectfully, I think the city, ideally what they want is to say exactly what he said. This is your problem, you deal with it. But here's the mandate. God forbid something happens, which may never happen, then the city will tell you it's your fault.
Although we had an expert that said it's just normal.
It doesn't mean it's not safe. It doesn't mean it's safe. It doesn't
Going in
mean.
the
Normal
fecal
does not mean safe.
water isn't safe either, but everybody's okay with it.
And we carry liability insurance for, like,
Yeah.
if a kid could fall in and drown, whether it's flat, a kid can drown in 2 inches of water. So I don't understand why we're going to try to poke the bear with what I believe is a semi-aggressive letter that's gonna go back and forth. If anything, I would have the letter framed as, hey, we're doing our annual, we're starting to try to keep up with the lake better, we're doing the water testing, and, you know, we wanna know if this meets focus standards, do they have any suggestions, we have concerned residents, we don't have, blah, 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 and reframe it to be less aggressive.
Great letter. Let me tell you, okay, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. And you're right, I could've wrote that letter. Well, we talked about it, and the likelihood that if I write that letter, the city will say, which is what they've said at other times, to other, is this is your responsibility, you do what you think is right.
They want the liability out of that.
Right,
They don't want.
right,
any
exactly.
liability.
They don't
You're in the
want- they will
liability
say that.
business, he's
So-
in the
so-
liability
right,
business. They're
right.
not gonna take a hot potato. You bring it to their attention,
That's
point
it.
a letter, they're gonna go, oh, now it's on me, I'm not gonna be liable, of course you're gonna do this.
But if you write that letter, which I get it, you can write that letter if the board tells me, believe me. But the likelihood on that situation is the board will say, this is your responsibility, do something about it.
They're likely going to say that anyway, unless a house is actually sinking into the canal. And at this point, to my knowledge, there is not a house doing that. So I don't understand sending such a aggressive letter that is going to trigger a back and forth and, you know, probably be deferred to their legal team and you guys going back and forth and running up a budget. We're at 12,000 for the year, probably let's say at least it'll be at 20,000. And that's 20,000 that we could have used that to plant a whole new thing of aquatic plants that Solitude just said earlier that they sprayed the native weeds because they're a nuisance plant, but they do stabilize the shore. We have nothing, and Solitude, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, last meeting or two said there has been no maintenance besides like the water treatment and all that to attempt to stabilize the shore. It's just been the way it is for years to come. So it just seems like an aggressive escalation, especially after we have a letter from an engineer. It just seems, and like $20,000, I'm just using that number. That's a lot of money that we could be putting towards putting the plants and stabilizing the shore.
What
That's
did
just-
you find aggressive about the letter? Cause I didn't find it
I
aggressive at all.
try not to be aggressive, if I am,
That
it's
the
just
city
because I'm
will
so used to
come
being a
back and
lawyer.
say you have to do
No,
X,
the
Y,
way the
and
letter was written, what was aggressive in there? And I'm not saying you're wrong, I just didn't hear it.
It's not aggressive like F you, it's aggressive in the fact of making it seem like there's an actual issue and saying, not even attaching the actual letter from the engineer or something, it's just making it seem like there's a problem when there isn't, instead of letting the city make their own conclusion. It's kind of baiting them into, hey, there's an actual urgent problem.
Let me read it again, and
Yeah.
I don't mind if, listen,
Yeah.
May I say something on the excerpt of this letter?
Sure.
This is a letter?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna
I don't
read
know,
the
I don't know, I can't see that.
It says,
That's gonna read
evidence of significant bank washout is also present where the banks meet the lake water surface elevations locations. The steep slopes of the banks further up the lake banks from the edge of the water are likely to contribute to additional washouts in the future when combined with typical wave action across the lake surface, which often represents the greatest factor in lake bank deterioration.
Can I read the other part?
Yeah, read the other
Wow.
paragraph, that's
This
being,
I mean,
the other
But read the other
fooling
paragraph,
us.
read the other paragraph, because that other paragraph is, I hear you.
So our office understands that no lake bank maintenance has taken place in the lake in question as a result of rehabilitation work completed by either POA nor the city since the community was originally constructed. This would have included maintenance involving new fill being brought in to grade the lake banks in response to prior washout episodes. As no prior maintenance has taken place, the lake banks may function at current state for some time to come. And then, go further down, it does say it's typical aesthetic.
and their recommendation is what they suggest is
To
a
me-
geotube
Yeah,
textile.
their recommendation is to do some remediation. I mean,
Right.
I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you read that, they recommended some remediation.
Yeah.
Now, but you're all right, okay? We'd love to keep this in-house. As your attorney, I tell you, you're right. We'd love to do it ourselves. We'd love to take me out of the equation, spend any money for me on that. I'm telling you that you here need to tell this board, okay, we understand, you may need to raise assessments and build up a reserve and get this done and spend the money towards that. You may also need to spend some of the money we now reserve now, because this board, I'm telling you, is paralyzed in regards to this issue.
We've told them this, you've been here,
Exactly.
we're telling them right now, Joel even just said the perfect solution. 3 board members live on the lake. They keep voting, it's 3-1, that's how they vote. Joel was actively against hiring you, he wanted to keep this in-house. Not, obviously you're
I
on,
understand,
you know what I mean? And 3 board members live on the lake. And it's gonna keep happening, we're all here, we've all said solutions, Joel just gave a great solution, and it just keeps getting pushed to the same thing. So we are speaking out, we are listening, we do send letters, I even CC you on some of the emails,
Yep.
and you guys
And
aren't
some of
listening.
those are very aggressive.
Hey,
Those are really
no
aggressive.
lawyers.
And the gentleman that's not here tonight, Glenn, had excellent suggestion about dirt and aquatic plants. He suggested that there's so many sites around that are building, we could get free dirt, but they don't wanna listen, they want
No,
to sell.
that's not true at all, Kathy.
Emergency,
don't
that's
point
how
your
this
finger.
all started.
Todd, will you tell her what the conversation that we had in the past? Thank you.
Yeah, and in
Go
the
ahead.
past
It doesn't
about,
matter,
yeah,
it was like a
bringing-
year and a half when you came out and said, this is what we're doing, it's an emergency.
No.
Absolutely.
That is what happened, because I'm the one who joined the neighborhood, and then I said, hey, why don't we hire an engineer before we go and spend $250,000?
Todd, can you tell her this conversation, please?
Well, the question is, Tom, let me ask.
That's why I started recording the meetings, because it's,
Let me
like, we're
ask
getting
you,
called
let me ask you,
liars, all of us
Is
are
there,
recording.
I hear you, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Sorry, no, I was being,
We have some reserves, correct?
Yeah, I mean, let's get to the end of the year and see where we're at then, kind of forecast. We haven't had a good year.
Are there things we can do
Cost effective.
in the, cost effectively, in the short term, with your company,
Mhm.
to try to lessen the erosion, knowing that we're gonna continue to do maintenance over the next 3 years?
Yes.
Which you, okay, have you proposed anything?
So we've talked about, cause there's other solutions, I mean, I'm looking at the picture from 19 years ago here, and You can bring fill in, you can sod over the top of it, it's not a permanent solution, but it could last 10, 15, 20 years.
What's the expense on that solution?
Don't know, we haven't actually looked at that, we've got some numbers probably because of the fill we knew we were gonna have to bring in, but we have not gone to that extent because it was, what's the best thing to
Can you
do?
in any way give me a guesstimate?
I can.
I can.
Yeah.
Good.
I spoke to Scott, who this is his forte, I forget his last name, lives on the end of Fourth Avenue, next to you, Tiffany. And I saw him at Publix one day and we were discussing, he says, you know, Tom, he says, I could probably get some dirt, truckloads, about $600 a truckload. And he says, that might be a good solution for it.
How many truckloads is it gonna take?
Well, I don't know, he said that, you know, it's something that,
How much?
we wouldn't have, listen, we wouldn't
take
have to do the entire, lake all at once. I'm talking about, you know, like, the north side of the lake is the worst. The northwest side is the worst.
And we may have all of those numbers already, because we need those numbers to determine how we're gonna fill the sock, so that may be there. But, here's one that we briefly talked about, but from an aesthetic standpoint, I don't think anybody's gonna like it. You can drop your monthly maintenance cost by about $25, $30 a month, and you can allow the torpedo grass, the alligator weed, the shoreline grasses and weeds that we currently spray for, allow them to grow 1 to 3, basically I would say 3 feet around the edge of the entire lake. And now you have free erosion control while you figure this out.
Right, but
And
I have associations doing that.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It looks bad, and all of a
It's
sudden the
not
lake becomes a jungle.
No, and that's why I was gonna say, I've had communities in the same situation as you guys, I've mentioned them here before, Forest Ridge Master, where the HOA is responsible for the water. They have no responsibility for any erosion along the homeowner. Their property stops at the edge of the lake, there's no lake easement. So the homeowners are responsible for their own erosion control. The boards have flip-flopped 3 times in the last 6 years at Forest Ridge by doing what we just discussed.
Right.
Because after about a year, there's more people up in arms about the weeds than care about their erosion behind their house.
Right.
So I'm just saying, if you want something you're going to do temporarily, you could do that. But again, it's not going to look aesthetically pleasing.
But the buffer, we talked about this,
Mhm.
okay, this past week, and I said, what if there was like, if we put some fill down there and then put the littoral plants to use as a buffer?
So, but that buffers the wind, that will do nothing to, unless it's 100% and it's thick and it's 3 to 5 feet wide, it's not going to do, I think, what you guys want to accomplish long term.
And it will quickly erode.
Putting in the fill and creating exactly what this picture looks like here in this, and I don't know what that document is, but
That's
putting,
mine.
okay, so putting that fill in and making it look like that 2006 picture, that's a solution, but like I said, will it last 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now?
I recall an answer that you gave me one time about a year ago,
We
and you
talked
said,
about-
Tom, I'll take your money we'll take your money to put the fill in there, did you not, something to that?
It's something along those lines, because I just watched Lake Charleston do this 2 years ago. They, instead of spending the $5 million to do erosion control, they spent the $800,000 to bring in fill. And literally, the board president said, we're doing this because none of us on the board will be here 15 years from now, and it's back to the way it looks. So I'm just, as an example, at some point, that's a temporary fix. When we were asked to provide a solution, we gave you the best solution that we have available.
In perpetuity.
Anything that you could bring in riprap, we talked about this at a meeting, you could put riprap, 2 feet of riprap around, but it's rocks. So now you've got people wanting to fish, you've got little kids trying to get in the lake, they're twisting their ankles, breaking their legs, so riprap's not, it's a solution, but I wouldn't recommend it. So,
One of our residents, Glenn, sent the board a proposal about all kinds of beautiful aquatic plants
Sure.
that were very inexpensive. He said, he's in construction, he can get dirt for free, people need to dump that dirt somewhere. You could pack that down, and that'll be as good, I mean, look at how long it took for this erosion to happen.
Yeah, but is the dirt been certified to go in the lake?
Well,
And stop.
You know, has the dirt been certified to go in the lake?
that's the part, yeah, you gotta get, there's some requirements.
Cause now you're dumping dirt into the city of Boca's lake.
Yeah, there's some requirements.
And then, again, so what Tom and I talked about, you could do that, as long as you create a large enough area that's 3 to 5 feet wide minimum, and then you could put planes in. That has to be 12 inches to 18 inches or less to get the plants to survive. Otherwise,
That's only in a certain area where it's so bad.
To start.
like, so look in this picture here, I don't know who all got this, but there's a beautiful littoral shelf around the lake in 2006. You have less of that now. So all I'm saying is that can be done, but you're going to want to have it designed and make sure you do it right, otherwise the plants will die.
But a shelf's gonna wash out.
The shelf will wash out. Oh yeah, there's no,
Yeah.
it will wash.
So-
When these
how long?
communities
Right.
build these huge littoral shelves that they're required to do, they build them 20 to 25 feet wide. They're only required to have 10 to 12. Because that eventually ends up in the lake, so they know it's going to slough off. In your case, in most of the areas around this lake drops off very quickly. It's built like a swimming pool. It's shallow at this end and it gets really
22 to
deep
42.
into- So,
But how long would you
22
think
feet
that
to
would last?
42 feet.
I don't know, the Lake Charleston lakes have been around 30 years, give or take, and the bigger lakes have lost 10 to 15 feet of that's what they had to put back, 10 to 15 feet of lake bank was lost.
But this
It's a
was,
decade.
Yeah.
this
I-
lake
I
was
don't-
built in the 80s and it hasn't needed maintenance, so if we do something,
Well,
I
it's-
hired an engineer to come out and do my own assessment, and he said, whatever is done, do not touch the shelves, cause these are great shelves, bring in dirt, do not dig, because the shelves are great, and then it does drop down, but he said that doesn't matter, cause that's the middle.
Right.
And so if we haven't had to touch this since the 80s, it could last because the shelves are so flat. But also, I hear alligator weed saving us $35 a month, so if you educated the neighborhood and say, hey, we're gonna allow the natural plant life to grow back, this is gonna save us money so that we can build up our reserves to do something more aesthetic in a few years to, build equity. I mean, that sounds like a win-win solution for everyone, and then deal with it later.
And I hear that, and all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I don't recommend it, I'm just
My
offering it
point
as a
is on that,
solution.
it quickly looks pretty bad.
We live on the canal, all of us,
Yeah.
and
It quickly looks pretty bad too.
we have
It looks bad.
it's all algae and just grass floating on top. We-
Yeah, you know what,
Yeah.
so based on the pictures that I have from a few weeks ago, I would call Lake Worth Drainage District and get that stupid boom out of there.
We can't.
I tried.
Well, it's the only way
I
that
think
you're
they
gonna stop the
said
nightmare. Well, I know, they don't
put
want
it
it.
in, they took it out, and they said if we put it in again, we're not gonna take it
Yeah.
out.
Well, they said
So-
it was-
Because we've had people on the canal that were complaining about it,
Why did it get put in? It just-
Because someone on the
because there's a couple people on the canal were complaining.
It's a serious question.
No, no,
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer your question.
It was supposed to be there a long time ago apparently, and they passed over it, and then someone called and complained about all the stuff getting in.
Right.
Yeah, there was one there a long time.
And I tried to
Yeah.
tell that person before
Was it
she
no?
complained,
Plus
I
years.
said, you're gonna upset the apple cart, you're gonna stir that bee's nest, and sure enough, the guy came here and told us, we got until
Yeah.
December 1st, and we're gonna put that
If
boom
it go
in.
back,
And
if
that's
it go
what
back,
they
to
did.
go back to the weed growth thing, I'm not sitting here saying do that for 2 or 3 years, I'm literally saying do it for a few months until you guys can figure out what you're gonna do, but if you're 3 years away from doing anything with the erosion, then
Well, let me ask you
I
this.
honestly, I don't have a single customer that's happy about it. Loggers
And
Run,
I have-
Well,
Loggers
no,
Run
we
had
don't wanna
it.
do that,
Yeah.
but let me ask you this. Average erosion,
Mhm.
from your knowledge, what's average erosion per year? Just guess.
There's no, I can't.
Like if you guess this for 3 years, it wouldn't be a
No.
foot,
No,
it wouldn't be 2 feet.
I'm not
Well,
gonna guess
well,
at
then,
all.
well, now that, if you guess, then he's not, then you also have to.
He's not
God
taking
forbid-
it off the
God-
table. He's
well,
not
God,
taking
well,
it off.
there's also other factors, not because I've known enough about this to be dangerous.
Yeah.
Let's say we have a hurricane, that changes everything. Let's say we have another 5 to 10 year rainfall, that washes out. So look, what I'm hearing, and I'm trying to just point you in the right direction so we're not paralyzed and we don't move as much. Here's the deal. you have a mandate from the people here, which you have to decide on. You, not them. They want you to go and do some work on it, but do it under a budget which is small. Do it a way which makes sense for us. It sounds like the fill is some way to start it. It sounds like you can start on the north end on the fill. It sounds like you gotta get prices for fill on the north end. The sod is gonna be expensive. That's where it's gonna be expensive, okay? The fill might be fine, but you can also do that in phases. Okay, so.
Can the homeowners buy their own side? What?
They don't have to, but they can.
They get a pallet of side for the back for what, 700?
Watching this unfold.
6
for the
times more
last-
than it used to be.
Watching this unfold for the last number of years, I think what I see is everyone's in agreement that there's erosion or whatever you wanna call it, that there is an issue that needs to be addressed. I think where we separate is some people may think it's more urgent than others, and the people who don't think it's urgent say, we're willing to do something, but we don't wanna do something right now because it's gonna cost us our bag of gold, and we don't wanna put a bag of gold down right now. Let's save money for a couple of years and fix it when we have the money, as opposed to, let's fix it now and everyone give up a bag of gold.
Well, let me also preface that. I do not disagree, although the board has been working on other solutions, that one of the big holes in the ground is, one of the big centers is, what they've heard is 225,000. This board, during my time, has branched back from that and tried to work on other solutions which make sense. But I'm not sure they've heard it. I'm not sure they have, okay? So, to that end, I
still have
understand.
estimates, and you know what? I'm afraid to get an estimate right now. I'm not even going there.
Yeah, so
Because it's
all I'm
gone
saying
so
is,
much,
all I'm
so-
saying is, the answer is, you can have that back, that picture on one end, and you can have it back, but you need to go and start getting estimates to have that back with Phil and so forth. And realize that, hey, this might be a 10 to 12 to 15-year solution. And it might be a 5-year solution, but it will at least, all the residents will understand, this is what we're doing.
Will that prevent further erosion?
No,
No.
So it's
It-
okay.
it-
the size
Yeah.
will prevent further
Yeah.
erosion.
So it's a Band-Aid.
That will not prevent.
It's
It's
a,
But either way, whether you do size or you do fill, it will look like this if it's done properly at the end of the project. It will literally
for,
look like
for,
that.
for a period of time.
How long will the stock work for?
Right now, forever.
But as a 5-year one.
But it only has 5-year warranty.
No.
No, it has.
But we said it if we would honor the warranty as long as we're the lake maintenance company.
Okay, what if
When the
you guys,
engineer heard that, he was like, what are you guys waiting for?
What?
That could be-
What if we what?
you guys could literally cancel us and say, oh, we're no longer your management, like, there's so many loopholes around.
Well,
There's a
that
lot of
just-
Well,
very-
I'm gonna give you my history.
Yes.
My history with the stock is that it lasts a long time. My history with that also is that it does last. I mean, it's not like in a year, it's gonna look different. I mean, it's going to give that, and I don't know the cost on it, but that is gonna give you years of that look. Now, can you?
Might be a little safer too, right?
It will, that will solve your
It won't
safety
ever
issue.
drop off like it does now.
Yeah.
No,
I know.
It will.
It will, it will, it will, it will.
It looks
If
like
you
that
put the
right now,
sock-
right?
No, the sock will
It's
work
easy, yeah.
for a long, long time. We won't be here when the sock fits. But when that, probably, I mean, 10 to 12 to 15 years, without a natural disease, without.
But a lot less expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know how much less
So
expensive.
it'll be, definitely, I would think it could be half the cost or even less than that.
It's still.
We have the numbers.
It's
yeah.
still not insignificant
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
And you're still putting, just know, I don't wanna paralyze you on this, but let's say it's 80,000. Okay, let's just say it's 80,000, and that's not for the north end. North end will be a fraction of that, right? Just one.
Yeah, cause it's all per owner footage.
But let's say it's 80,000. You're spending 80,000 for, let's just say 10 years. Great, probably won't be many people in this room's decision 10 years from now. Okay, cause all win the lottery and be moved to the Virgin Islands. Okay?
Good cover.
As opposed to, right, as opposed to 200,000, where you don't have to worry about it. That's a financial decision. But when you put $225,000 assessment on a community which has assessments of that, it is, I mean, a sticker shock. And it is a shock to everyone. And nobody in any of my communities realizes that their homes have appreciated, and not that the lake will appreciate in all these years, so they can have it. With that said, here's your suggestions. One, you could vote to raise your maintenance back up to 700 and put all of that money into lake maintenance. You could do that, you have the right to do that. Two, you could, go for a vote of the community to be able to, amendment to your documents, to be able to raise your assessments a little more. I live in Camino Gardens, my assessments were $550, they're now $950.
That's not the goal.
Okay, right, okay, I'm just giving suggestions, okay?
But his went up, ours went down.
Right, okay.
That's the goal.
And by the way, and by the way, and I have 350 associations, I'm gonna tell you, you're the only one I know of where your assessments went down. But that's fine. You
We
have-
lost stuff. We
Okay,
lost
right,
stuff.
Right. 3, okay, you can decide to use some of your reserves now and figure it out, but I do believe that something has to be done, but I'm hearing everyone say, yes, we agree. Just do it in an economically smart way over a period of time and make sure that we don't have sticker shock.
It'd be a lot cheaper if each homeowner on the lake paid for their own.
So let's,
That's not what the documents say, but.
We've
they-
covered
but that, you know,
It's
that's,
not,
but
that's,
yes,
they're
it
not,
would be
we're not,
definitely
it's not
cheaper.
happening.
Yeah.
It's not
We
making
know.
sense.
are they allowed to, people on lake, can they do it themselves?
No, Larry said right for the covenant, we have to change.
Hang on.
Here's what I say.
Hang on.
The answer is no, okay? But let's go to the second question. If Tom came to you and said, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it in this way, that's a alteration to common areas, but he's gonna make it as its maintenance. And you could say, okay, do that, as long as, file an application with the association, and we'll allow for it. The problem with all that is, okay, it can be done that way, but you've gotta prove it, you've gotta make sure it's right, and by the way, it would be just to make it look like that again. So the answer is, it could be done, but you just can't go and do it.
Yeah,
You gotta do it with the
Yeah.
association. So if all the homeowners in the lake said, we see this $80,000 solution, and we will all pay X amount of dollars for this, and they want to do that, then they could do it with your approval based on, and your oversight. It's common elements, but they can improve common elements. If I said, I wanna paint your sign, which needs painting, I could do it as long as you get approval and it's the same as it looks now. I can't build a 20-story sign, because that's a material alteration, but I can maintain it. Okay? I hope I made that clear.
Have you experienced any of that with any of the accounts that you have, Todd, with the homeowners doing it?
You need to ask me. I don't know
Yeah.
if 320 associations. No,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
No. The homeowners don't repair common elements.
Okay.
But you could, if you want. And I'm sure some of them say, this board is not maintaining it the way I want, but they don't go and put their money where their mouth is.
I've seen, so my answer is no as well, except the reverse of that, where I've seen multimillionaires decide they're going to just do it. And then I've seen the flip side of what happens to that. So where we've had customers do that, thinking, what are you gonna do, sue me? Well, yeah, no, South Florida came, they had to remove it all. So you don't do it without,
South Florida Water
you don't do it
Management.
without getting everything in there.
South Florida Water Management could be a stickler.
I don't know what
And-
authority they have here.
And I don't think they have, I don't think
Yeah.
so. And as he said, there's no permits for this stuff.
This is
But-
maintenance. yeah.
Right, but let me tell you, here's why. The reason why is, let's say you decide to just do your backyard. Now, understand, you're liable for what you did. Now it's your liability, you've done something. So if the association came to me and said, Tom wants to do this, I'd say, 1, you have to approve it, 2, you can let him do it, and 3, you have to shift the liability to him. Because he's now doing it, and the maintenance responsibility. With that said, I'm not sending my letter to the city unless you tell me to do it, okay? So you can do whatever you want right now. 2, I do think you have a mandate to get estimates from to do the repair, the way, and see what that is. So at least you have another number other than 225,000. If Solitude says we'll give you an estimate for that, we'll come out and do that, use them as one, but also say, what if we get the fill from Chuck or whatever his name is, okay? Scott, okay? But do it. do it.
Yeah.
Because this can't continue.
That's your
on.
advice, your professional advice based on your experience. I appreciate it, I'm ready to make a motion that we table the letter right now to the city.
Okay.
And Kathy, just second it?
Tabling it?
Yep.
Okay, so not
Table.
sending it, okay.
Can I ask the board, is
Well,
there?
We have a motion going, so you have to.
Oh, hey, no problem.
I mean,
Yeah,
just,
you
yeah,
second it?
just, I mean, I support, because I mean,
All
I
in
would like,
favor?
well,
Oh, you'll
that's a
discuss it.
little discussion,
Okay.
because I mean, I would like to get to the end of the year and be able to forecast next year, so we can see how much we can and can't put away, so we can forecast this over the next 2 years or so.
The
And if
motion is just strictly table.
No, I'm just giving you like, I'm just giving
Why
you
do have to write-
reasons so you can understand.
Why do you have to get a number right now? Why can't it be next meeting? Why does it have to be exactly right now?
I mean, I think getting a number doesn't hurt. I don't, but I mean, again,
I'm asking Tom a question. Why does it have to be right tonight? Why can't we wait next meeting?
Promise my clock's off, guys.
I'm asking to table this letter.
It's,
I don't want-
it's a motion, it's been
It's a motion.
seconded.
Yeah.
Discussion, and then it's
Before
the
he
vote.
wants that to go.
Kathy seconded it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Everyone vote,
You in favor?
unanimous?
Yes,
Are you
unanimous.
yea or nay?
Are you gonna vote?
Or do you wanna send it?
Not yet.
So can we,
Okay,
Okay,
wait.
so that's done.
Yeah.
Now, okay, now let me go to the next step, and I'm sorry if I promise you my clock's off, okay?
You're fine.
Here's my next step, okay? My next step to you is, you can do what Joel wants, which is, when's your budget meeting?
February.
Check.
Annual meeting's February. Budget meeting will be January then.
January.
Okay, so January.
You can say, let's just get prices, just get nothing, no, and then let's talk about it at our budget meeting in January. Because in January, Joel should know where you stand on reserves, correct? In addition, I do fully expect, but I'm just saying this out loud, you don't have to do it. I do fully expect that you will increase your assessments to $700 at your budget meeting, but that's up to you. You've got to put a budget together, everyone has a right to see it, you can see what all the expenses are, you can go, you did that before, and said, hey, you know what, maybe we don't have to do it, we can still put money away, it's your call.
I mean, I think if we do that, it's a common area thing, because, you know, berm has issues that need to be addressed, so it's not, it's a common area.
Fine, whatever, however you want to do. So the question for you is, do you want to get estimates from Solitude in regards to just that? And in the estimate, I would suggest you not just say, Solitude, don't just give me the whole lake, and then also give me just the north side.
Good.
You guys wanna make a motion? I'm trying to get you.
Yeah, we just table it, I mean.
I mean,
Is that okay with that?
Oh,
Does anyone have any questions on
Yes.
this?
You're getting the quotes.
That's all,
Yeah.
not do
Well,
it.
I thought we did that already. He said he's getting quotes and Jay asked some.
You need to do a motion to get the
I thought we
quotes.
did.
No, the motion was to
Oh,
table.
that was part of table,
No,
okay.
my letter needs to be thrown away.
I do
Yeah,
have
you
the
got it.
suggestion for the quotes
Okay.
that
I
I
didn't get
made
any
out, but
quotes.
I,
Wait till,
No,
wait till
that
we
was
make a motion.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to go
Discussion.
with quotes
Is it
and
okay?
discuss
oh,
the.
no, it's just
budget
about
meeting.
the quotes. I
Go
just
ahead.
have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
I think I've sent this in email, I think I flew a banner plane suggesting this, but my stepmom does own that company, so
You can do it.
don't
Don't mess with
I
me.
Don't
saw
mess
one
with
yesterday.
So, my suggestion is, let's say the city does say, hey, let's do something. My suggestion has been multiple times, but I want it on camera so everyone, I can post it and the neighbors can all see. Get quotes for riprap, get quotes, every single type of quote, right? I'll help get quotes, cause I know everyone's unpaid volunteers. And put it for a vote, so that it's not 3 board members who live on a lake and then one who lives on a dry lot who just doesn't care. I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just trying to make a point. I know, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So then if the neighborhood votes they want riprap, the neighborhood votes they want to do the sock, and whatever the neighborhood votes, that's what it is. And then no one can complain and no one's
I
careless.
mean, just so I know, I have a problem with that, but I'm gonna tell you what I wanna clarify. You mean to give the neighborhood not a suggestion to do nothing, suggestion to either do this or do this.
If it's deemed by the city eventually, or
I'm
if,
not,
yeah.
I'm not writing to the city.
Well, we're
By the
staying
way,
away from the
by the way,
city.
let me also say something. By the way, I also want.
I'm sorry,
Hey.
if it comes to, we have to do something, right? We're not paralyzed, we're making the decision. However that decision gets made, hey, we have to do something, here are our 3 options, neighborhood decides. They all last the same, this cost, and then the neighborhood decides, cause, you know, us,
Let me ask you a question.
yeah,
And I hear what you're saying, and and again, The neighborhood at the annual meeting gets to vote for the board, correct? Why wouldn't the neighborhood then want to put in people who, because what you're saying, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, is I don't trust the people on the lake to make the decision. Any way you wanna house it, that's what you're saying.
Correct.
So if you feel that way and the neighborhood feels that way, then why would the neighborhood vote people who are not on the lake into this office?
Well, because this has become an apparent problem, and actually, I think we're supposed to be doing
Got it.
nominations tonight, which we both wanna nominate each other for the nomination, so that is actually what, yeah, that is.
Why, you haven't answered my question.
We had 3 board members just recently leave, and they're not on the lake. Lisa, Kathy, Diana.
Okay, now let me ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't,
Not
you
Kathy,
don't understand what I'm
Wendy.
saying. We have an annual meeting, right? At the annual meeting, who's running?
Whoever gets, I mean, anyone put their
Is
name on that.
everyone here up for election?
I wanna be.
Well, I
No, I mean, no one has a 2-year term.
No, annual, every
So
day.
everyone's running. So, because really honestly, the annual meeting's in February.
Yeah.
Nothing's really gonna happen in February.
yeah, 3 months away.
Why wouldn't the community then, because we're gonna have an election, vote in, I mean, this appointment, which they have, which is their prerogative, okay? This appointment is 2 months, and then he runs, okay, he or she. Why wouldn't the association then, with your, come and say, we want a new group of people, if the association does that? So the association really is going to give this board a mandate, this association a mandate, at the next election. You're either gonna be, I don't care about, because I'm not gonna vote, because that's most people. Or I'm gonna
Push the
vote.
election
with-
up?
What?
Does it have to go February? Can you push it up?
No, it's February. So, but nothing's gonna happen before February. All you're gonna do before now in February is 1, have a budget meeting, 2, okay, and do the budget, and the new board can amend the budget anytime they want. 2, okay, you're gonna get quotes, so you know, and probably discuss those quotes. You're gonna discuss it at the budget meeting, and then you have an election. That's what's gonna go on in the next 2 months. I mean, I you know, so the reality is, the association membership will provide a mandate at the next election of what they want. What I hope is if they do provide a mandate and the people on the lake aren't on the board, I do hope that the new board will not go, I'm not on the lake, I don't give a damn. That the new board will say, we've got 2 proposals, and what I'd like the new board is not to send it out to the community and make a decision, although I respect you. The new board's requirement by being elected is to decide that issue and to do so in a cost-effective, correct manner. Because I've got communities who say, we'll put out surveys, we'll put out this. The problem is you empower this group of people who have already given you a mandate to vote on something, and then when you don't do what they want, they say, you didn't do what I wanted. This is the group, or whoever is sitting here in February, is the group who needs to decide this. Whoever that is will be given by the community. And I'm sure you will politic, and I'm sure you'll go out there and tell people this is what we want, but I'm hoping that they'll make the right decision. Because if Tom Judge is, Tom will use it here, right? If Tom Judge is not on the board, and, which might be the case, and he's sitting here, and he thinks his lake is unsafe, he's gonna be the one writing the emails to everyone saying your lake is unsafe and your board's doing nothing.
He's already doing that.
Yeah.
He's gonna, okay, so,
All right.
all right. So, with that said, I don't wanna go. You need to pass a motion and decide what you wanna do in regards to the quotes, and that's it.
Yeah, as far as the nominations, I'm gonna make
Let's-
a motion that we table that till February.
Whatever, we're not there. Make a motion, so you can do, okay?
Because I put my name on the hat, you're making that
No,
motion?
Just make a motion, just make a motion,
Aaron.
just make a motion regarding the quotes. Does anyone
I'll
have-
make the motion to get quotes and present and discuss for budget, not to do them, but just to have an idea of what this will cost over,
Okay.
X amount of time.
Let me help you with the motion.
Okay.
The motion is to have Solitude provide quotes for sod, for fill to be placed in the north side and for fill to be placed around the lake with and without sod.
Why stop?
So.
Not just Solitude.
So on, yeah, that sounds.
I'm trying to get a motion for solitude, and then he can go to, well, do we have anyone else?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say, is like, if this isn't a warranty thing, I think getting three.
Fine.
One from the engineer, solitude, and someone else, so we actually get a, an idea, cause I mean, if it's a sound system, it's one
Sod
thing.
is only cosmetic anyhow, I don't mean.
Well, no, it's the fill though, it's the cost of fill.
I said, that's why I said with or without sod.
So I think we get 3 quotes.
I also, just one more suggestion, I got an engineer report, and I think I gave it to you and sent it to you. So, respectfully, we spent a lot of money, but the report, the quote was for like $10,000, and they draw up plans and tell you exactly where to put fill and exactly what to do and give you a whole timeline, and then they will use.
They do the work too?
And then they will use their, partner and tell you who to hire and what to do, so that
Well,
could
they were
be
gonna
another
do,
thing.
yeah, they're
to
gonna do
consider.
geomapping, just like, the engineer was gonna do, they were like $6 grand.
Yeah,
engineers.
so that might be
But-
something, so then you know exactly what to get
But
quotes
that's
for
what they, yeah,
going
that's
back
what
to.
they would do if we went through it, that'd be included in that price.
Cool.
From what we talked on.
Does the
But
board,
I-
go ahead.
No, I'll just get this motion,
Yeah.
I think we discussed enough of this, to be honest.
Larry, real quick, can I just say,
Yeah.
can the board delegate somebody from the outside, or, from our association members, like you all are, right? We all are. Can we delegate a committee of some sort to maybe,
Get the quotes.
and by the way, I asked you to come on the board the first day I met you, but regardless.
Yes.
Can
you
we ask her,
yes.
can we ask her to
You can
bring that
delegate a
forward?
committee.
Cause it's, that's good talk, I hear you, I'm all ears, but I wanna see it in paper, and, it's a lot of work.
I presented it in paper,
This
and I've
it's a lot
literally
of
suggested a lake erosion committee, and you looked me right in the eye and said, you're a dangerous person to have it on a committee. So,
At that time I thought you were, I don't anymore.
Okay,
No,
so.
come on, Larry.
No, at that time I did.
I'm
don't
just
know, I
saying,
swear to you.
I suggested this.
Well, because,
I don't
look,
take offense to it.
in fairness, I thought you wanted to do absolutely nothing, no way, nothing, but this is the
Yes.
first time, and I haven't been here all the time, where I'm hearing, okay, we wanna do something, but we wanna do it in a cost-effective manner. And that's the same thing I've been hearing from these people, so I hear you.
Good
Okay?
suggestion, Paul.
Okay, so you're gonna do the quote getting?
Yeah, tell me what quotes to
Okay.
get, I'll call all my people.
That's fine, cause you got the engineer, one.
Yeah, I already did an
Someone-
And
engineer.
so do you want me to wait for the engineer report? Because that's
Don't
all
you
they're
have
gonna provide.
Don't you have an engineer report?
We have the other engineer report,
Should have
but
the
she's
engineer.
talking,
Hers-
she's
hers
talking
was
about
quote.
in detail with geomapping and all of that.
No, so like when we talked to, Matt, they would include that, the
Okay.
geomapping in their cost or whatever we did.
Sure.
Send me a list of quotes you need to do and I'll do it.
I guess we're just talking about fill, right? It's fill only.
Well,
And Larry suggested sod and without sod, right?
Without.
And then.
Yeah,
Because,
both.
it's a step, because
And you also said, hey, listen, if we do a full quote, give them a breakdown.
North end.
It's optional, I totally agree, totally agree.
okay, good.
Alright, Larry, go get yourself a steak and I want.
And I say one thing, we talked about the city, and we talked about whether or not to send a letter and what to do. I know you're recording, I really need to keep that to us, okay? Because I don't want the city in any way, shape, or form, and the city to think that we think there's a problem or we're in violation of the maintenance agreement, okay? Does that
Yeah.
make sense to everyone?
Sure, I will edit that part
I
out.
work for the city.
I mean,
I already know.
You've been sleeping half the time, Jeff, we're okay.
So you don't understand my concern, I'm not
Larry,
saying.
really quick, Larry, don't we have, like,
Oh,
they're a
bro.
silent partner with the city? Aren't we like a silent partner, they're a silent partner with us? Because whatever they say is going to weigh in on what we do at some point, at some time,
we have-
because they are a partnership with us, we
Well,
have a relationship
no,
with them.
because-
Well, it's a partnership, or that we have a relationship that's based
We
on
do.
We would
what's
agree.
there. And
We
so,
do.
if we don't take into consideration what they would want to consider, or what they would think would be necessary or important, then we are leaving ourselves at risk for what is possible. But even if we do all of this down the line of what we think in maintenance, if we haven't consulted our, I'm gonna say partner, because I don't know the legalese of it, but the city is involved here, and if we don't include them, then we risk the fact that we maybe have done lots of quotes, thank you very much for doing that, and getting lots of all these things done, which is down the road, but we don't know our business partners' perspective in what we wanna do, or have them weigh in on it. So I can
Let me ask you,
yeah,
we have an agreement which is very open-ended and very ambiguous in some respects, but it requires us to do maintenance. And it puts the onus on us to determine what the maintenance is. And if we all contacted the city right now, I believe the city would say, this is your responsibility, leave us alone, okay? I think
And that being said though, Ken, then at least we will have that to say, we went to the city, it's a CYA, we went to the city, they told us, it's not us, but if we don't go to them, and we don't include them, then we have a risk potentially that we can go through, get quotes, have everybody come, we put the sod out, or we don't put the sod, we do the fill, we don't, everything else that we do here, we still run the risk if they come and knock and say, you know what, you didn't consult us or discuss this with us, and we want to have a look at
Let me
an
tell you-
audit.
let me tell you how I do
Larry,
that.
Tom, do.
I can respond to that, okay, cause I did speak to the city very delicately,
Right,
okay, and in a way that, hey, we got maybe some potential problems here. Their answer was that, well, if you need some, cost, or if you need some potential solutions, then you can contact us. I almost felt like I was very close to ringing that fire alarm, if you will, because I got the vibe that, man, if I do this and step out and say, okay, we got this, this, and that, and start sending pictures, which I did not, and all of a sudden they came back and say, oh yeah, now you guys gotta do this. So, that I did not do, but I just kinda like asked Lauren, what's her name?
Is this in writing?
Emails.
Was that email?
Okay.
And it's in the minutes.
Zach
It's-
Beers has
it's
been
in
by
the
several
minutes.
times at the lake.
Yeah, and Zach's been great, I mean, I have established a good rapport with the man, and like many others do, To answer your question, Robert, I mean, I don't know about a partnership.
well, agreement, I'm sorry, I'm not using legalese terms.
Here's how I go, guys, let me, I give you one sentence,
Yeah,
okay?
Larry,
Give you one sentence. I'm not Bill.
Do you need a?
Committee.
No.
You need to also understand that maybe the contractor you picked should go to the city and say, do I need a permit for this? They're gonna say no, right, okay? Do I need a permit for this? And at least then provide something to the city so they know we're doing this. So we're not doing maintenance without the city knowing we're doing maintenance, that's all. So the committee needs to take that into account, okay? Good, that's it, that was all.
Maybe the city will call it maintenance, so we will.
So we already.
It's normal.
Well, that's not our,
Here's
that's
the
our,
question.
maybe this meeting.
How about nominations?
Alright.
If, per the Sunshine Act, am I allowed to nominate myself and do they have to add me to the ballot?
No, so any
There's no
resident can
ballot,
nominate.
there's no ballot.
So you guys can nominate yourselves, like you'll get an annual meeting form, and on the back it'll show.
You mean for the election?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a
Election?
minute,
But you're
her
gonna plan
name will,
tonight.
their names will
No.
go on the list.
Yeah.
They're not as a write-in, not as
Okay, let me
In
let me
advance.
answer it for you. There's a first notice which will go out, it will say all candidates, you'll put your name on. There's a second notice will go out with the ballots, which will say, here's our list of people. That will go out with the ballots, so the answer is yes, you nominate yourself.
Okay, yeah, I wanna nominate myself and I wanna nominate Tim.
Well, you're talking about,
To go on the ballot.
To go on the ballot, you don't have to do that until the first notice will go out, whichever.
Or you have to put your name on it.
Okay, then you'll put it on.
I guess that's, we were just confused based on this.
Cause it said
That
appointment.
is, okay, let me explain to you that.
Yeah,
There is a board seat, how many board seats are open?
Not, we can have up to 9.
Fine.
So
And
we
you'll
have
have four open.
Okay, so there are seats open now for the 2 months before the election. That's why I said there's really nothing gonna go on for 2 months. The board, not the community, has the decision to either appoint someone to fill that, or fill whatever, or not. They decide that issue. You decide that, because if you don't, then you move your board down, because you have between 3 and 9, I think, it says in your documents.
We used to have max of 5 or 7.
Or maybe it's 5 and 9.
And
No,
it
it's
was
3 and
up.
9.
It was
I don't have it in front of me.
It's
okay?
3 and 9.
So you decide that. So what you're looking at is a nomination tonight, which they can and cannot do, it's up to them. The election, they can't tell you whether you run or not. You nominate yourself in your own.
Yeah, I don't wanna be a write-in, I wanna be us printed out.
100%.
But also,
You will be.
at the last meeting, Joel said, well, you guys need to be on the board if you want this, this, and that, and I said, okay, put me in, fam, and then they looked me in the eye and said, we can't do that to the annual meeting, so you're telling me they could have voted that night to put me on the board, cause Joel was saying.
No, it was not on the agenda then, okay, I don't think it was on the agenda.
Well,
what I read in the bylaws.
Larry, they voted
It wasn't on the
to
agenda.
hire you
Yeah, yeah.
at the last meeting, and that was not on the agenda, and they
Last
said.
meeting, you mean a while back.
No, this was last meeting, they voted to hire you to write a city of, and that was not on the agenda last meeting, but they voted on that.
They put under new business. Oh, okay. All right, well,
No,
whatever.
they
Okay. I
didn't,
hear you.
and
But
so,
I don't, what, the board, and
No,
the
yeah.
board can decide to increase their board size if they want. It's
At
up to
any
them.
time.
It's up to them. What I'm saying,
Yeah.
just to, so we don't get into a fight, is nothing is gonna go on from, in my view, that's right, November, December, January, except for one thing. There's a budget meeting, and at the budget meeting, I'm telling you right now, my view is they're probably gonna increase assessments to $700, their max, okay? And the new board can then amend the budget with 14 days' notice. They can decrease it if they want. So the reality is, I think I would put myself on, and they can also decide how many people run. They can say, if it's 5 to 9, you can say, we're gonna take 5, we're gonna take 9. If you take 9 and you only get 9 people running, then you don't have an election. They're all on. You follow me? If you
Yeah.
take 5 and you only get 5 people running, you only get 5, you don't have an election. If you take 5 and you get 9 people running, then you have an election. Am I clear? I'm trying to make it easy.
So she could have been voted in last.
It wasn't technically.
I mean, if you wanna fight about it, we'll fight
No,
about it. Let's all take it.
No, let's,
Just
Well,
want in.
I
Oh, no, the
think,
reason
I
I say,
think Joel
because
was
in our
under the
bylaws, it
impression.
says it has to only be the annual meeting, so this came up at our meeting.
Well, only because you have a vacancy.
Right.
If you don't have a
Okay, I
vacancy,
didn't-
you
so I didn't
can't
know
do
that.
it. If you don't have a vacancy, you can't do it.
Okay.
cause I was just
Lisa
volunteering to
vacated.
be
Oh, yeah.
a
Okay.
count, to help
Alright.
me count,
I'm not-
yeah.
I'm not saying-
Did we finish the motion, did we finish that?
Yeah, well done.
So since she's on there to get quotes, right?
Well,
Can I
you're
give
gonna,
him-
well, wait,
Can I
let
give
me
him
help you.
Committee.
One, motion, I'll say the motion and Joel, it's gonna be Joel's motion. Motion to
It's
form a
Howard's on your
committee to get the quotes we just passed in a previous motion. Okay?
Okay.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Not from
Well, that's fine.
Yes.
Let's get
All,
second.
okay, any discussion? Do you wanna, wait, yeah, don't have a discussion. All in favor?
Alright.
Okay, now, motion to appoint, to put specific people on that committee. They are,
Jessica,
who else, who else?
Tiffany,
Don't we need 3 for a
You don't,
committee?
you can have just 2.
I know Kathy wants to be on it,
Who do
she's
you
been
want?
looking for something to do.
Who do you want?
Oh, yeah, nominate someone who's not here, that's a real life.
She has ideas.
Well, who's gonna pick up the
Good
ducks?
ideas.
You can only have 2 now and add
Who's
some.
gonna pick up the ducks?
Okay, Tiffany, sorry.
Okay, all right,
That's fine.
they're gonna be the committee,
What's the name of the committee?
Lake
Lake
Erosion,
Erosion Committee.
Lake Maintenance Committee.
Lake
No
Maintenance.
maintenance, no, like erosion.
No, make it Lake Maintenance.
Lake-
Make it Lake Maintenance.
Huh?
Okay, Lake Maintenance Committee, okay? Now, understand, you sit at the pleasure of the board, but they're putting you on, okay? Second,
I second.
all in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Okay, now, last, okay? Motion to advise the committee that you would like quotes, the quotes which you stated in the previous motion by, when do you think we get the quotes?
As soon as they give me a list of every specific quote, I can get them within 2 weeks probably.
When's the
Well-
next meeting?
Yeah, but when I looked at the budget game, I don't.
January.
By January.
Why don't you have it done by
That's
next
perfect.
meeting? Do it for the budget
January,
game.
yeah, by January, okay, all right, good, okay.
Pending, I wanna put the lawyer caveat pending, they send me the list, cause if they send me the list
Well,
December
you'll have a
30th.
reason why you can't do it.
Yeah.
You'll say to them, hey, guys, I'd love to have done it by
So
January.
do you
but
want the
need to do this."
engineer's contact info?
Whatever,
Which one?
whatever quotes you need, like specific quotes, you know, if
Yeah.
you want me to call the engineer and get a new quote and for all, so just whatever quotes you want me to do that you know, I'll do it.
But you
If you
know-
want me to get sprinkler quotes, I'll do it, just send me a list and I'll get them done.
But you have an engineer though, right? I mean, in terms of, or
Yes.
no of an
Yeah,
engineer.
but it sounds like the guy, I
Well, we
gave
have
it to
three,
Joe.
we're getting three.
Okay.
Oh, you have to get three.
Now, Jessica, this is what I see as your committee, to get the quotes.
Yeah.
To review the quotes, to make a presentation on the quotes, and to make a suggestion.
I'm good at
I
presentations.
expect the PowerPoint.
Right?
You tell me how you
All
want
those
a
four
PowerPoint
things,
video.
okay?
It's gonna be like 80 slides.
All right, well, to make a suggestion, we're going to.
We got that right there.
And you know the mandate, because you know the motion, north and so forth, side, not side.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
We're good.
Make a motion to adjourn. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Next meeting.
I thought we were done. Okay, let's get back to it. I thought we were done.
No, we had.
Thanks, Todd.
Did we finish everything in the?
No, we didn't.
Okay, cause that's what happened last.
I know.
Thank
All right,
you.
where are we at? We are, so that was done with the canal,
Prime,
right?
we're at prime.
Crime, well, see, there must be some crime going on in the report.
I'm gonna ask them.
Crime report. Go ahead, Tom.
What did we have? We had, I know there were some police in the area and, I don't know a whole lot about it and,
Just passing through, that's all.
yeah, maybe there
That's
was
good, you
control.
like that. Okay, I.
But there's no burglaries,
Good.
nothing in Hidden Valley,
Oh, Hidden Valley,
Oh.
that's my question.
the car thing, right?
No.
What?
I just wondered if you guys know anything about that red door house, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the current stuff.
They have 4 notices, I've heard, documented.
For that house?
Yeah. And I think what,
Grass is the sign.
what happens, from what I was told, is that they're gonna have an escalating fine.
Just put a total lien on it, put a violation on it.
Do it for us.
That's a weird.
All right, any other crimes? Anything else? Trap house?
The what else?
Have those in Boca? Come on. All right, architectural beautification.
Andy,
Who's,
Andy got it? The beautification?
Andy had, in October. And right now it's, Victor.
Garrett, Garrett.
What's the name of the house?
Yeah, we need someone, if someone wants to do the, beautification, are you doing it? Who's doing it? Cause Wendy used to do it.
Kathy's been doing
Oh,
it.
you've been doing it? Do you still wanna do it?
May,
Do you still wanna do it?
That's fine, I guess.
You sure? Cause you're doing all this other work too.
I
Does
know.
anyone else
We're
want
gonna
to?
get 4 more board members tonight, so go ahead.
Well, it's just a committee. If it wants to do it, I mean, you pick out a pretty house and put a sign up. It's not that hard. There's 3 being done right now that you'll probably be able to put one to next time. No one? Okay. I just thought. Something to Kathy. Architectural review submissions. So Eli is replacing his roof, painting his house. We approved that one already. Glenn's, MPEP windows and doors.
You have it there.
I got that one here. And then, Cody Dingle, they're replacing the wood fence. Now, it's in an easement already, but they need a letter from us, just like when we did their easement and
They
erosion
have
thing.
to have a letterhead.
We have to give them a letter to approve that, even if the wood fence is already there.
They're super nice about it.
So, all in favor of making those approvals?
You made the motion?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I mean, I'll make the motion, make the approvals.
Yeah.
Second, all in favor? Alright, old business, none. New business, well, this is, we already went over all this. Okay. I'd like a motion to-
Appointment and nominations of board members.
Well, that's when we sent out the email. Remember we sent out the email to you? We can do it now, I mean, I don't know how many keep record of
What's
it.
the next meeting?
For nomination of board members.
You have the
You can go in
YouTube video,
tonight.
I can give you
Yeah.
the transcript.
So what we do is like we send out the email every year.
I
Like,
have the
a month-
email.
No, we haven't done it yet. We'll send it out like December. If you've seen them, if you're interested in joining the board, send us it and they put you on the ballot, and when the ballot goes out.
Yeah, but we don't do that tonight, we do that when we get the first letter.
Correct.
So why is it on here to appoint members
Because
tonight?
we all, so I didn't put this on there. We all thought that you could put board members on, but you can't,
It sounds like you can because
He
you're
says you
missing,
can.
missing seats.
because they're vacant. So
Yeah.
I didn't think you could.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, like, 'cause our bylaws say that it has to be every annual meeting, so that's why I said we couldn't do it.
Voted in.
Yeah,
Then why is
but
it
there's no one
appointed?
being,
I need to
cause
understand.
Aaron wanted to get on,
Why don't you
We're doing
nominate
it.
him at least the treasurer? You don't have a
we're
treasurer.
gonna help with the treasurer, I'm gonna get him,
No,
I'm gonna get him
we-
squared away first, to see if he wants to do it.
We only got 2 months to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'll have to be revoted.
We're not doing
But in
anything. The only thing we're doing is quotes.
Yeah.
In January, the new people
The
are
the
on
letters
board.
table,
Yeah.
If you
the,
voted it tonight,
Larry.
No, you have to be revoted anyways.
in February, but for January, you'd be on board.
Yeah.
So we couldn't do that tonight?
We have to, I mean, I don't know how this process works, the voting and voting
I think
out.
that it would be
That's
more,
what
I think it
worry
would
about.
be fair, that we at least give an opportunity for others to look at potentially possibly becoming board members.
Well, they will in
The
February.
letter goes out in
And,
December.
and the letter's going out
They're
next month.
talking about being
So,
appointed now, they're
to
talking about,
everybody.
which I don't have a problem with,
Put your name
I
on
just
it.
don't know.
We're not voting
Yeah,
on it.
I think based on what Larry said, because Jessica Wright, I'm sorry, wanted to come on the board, I think at the last meeting you said, and then there was an issue. And from being on this board 100 years ago and viewing what's going on now, I can tell you that anything the board does, they don't do it, to kind of get you, they don't do things to backdoor things or to keep people out. They do it because they're not experts in being board members. It's not what they do for a living. None of them, I'm sure, have a property management degree, or a company, or have a law degree like Larry does. But what I've seen, not specifically tonight, but in the past, is so many people think that these guys are doing that just to keep me out, or they're doing it just to do it. And that's not the case. Sometimes when they make a mistake, it's just that, it's a mistake. Like I think may have happened, when you wanted to get on the board, but then Larry kind of clarified and said it wasn't on the agenda. I think probably if they did it then, we could have gotten around it, just like if they do something tonight, there's a workaround, but it's never intentional to keep somebody from doing something.
Although it's on
It's
the
simply a
agenda
mis-
tonight,
Yeah, it's on the agenda.
so it could be done.
Right.
Well, I don't know, because I am not a property management
No,
company.
but I mean, we
nor
all
a
just
attorney.
heard it, and it's on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, and as I said, I don't think.
I'm gonna make a motion that we, wait and table, and not table, but have nomination of, at the annual meeting.
I'll abstain like you three.
Haven't got a second.
It doesn't matter to me, I don't wanna do things the wrong way, that's what I'm trying to do.
Well, Aaron.
I think we wait until,
Aaron, you
I
wanna
think
be
it would be
treasurer?
fair.
Well, like I said, we sent the
Because we
letter
don't
out.
have a
I'm
treasurer.
gonna show the
We have a
program, we'll
motion
show him how it
on the
works, if he wants to do it, no,
No.
don't put him in there yet, let's see if he wants to do it, I'll let him.
I was just asking if you wanted to be.
Discussion.
I told him that I would help.
We sent the letter out.
Yeah, we did.
And everybody signs up who wants to be on.
Yeah.
Right.
So then,
Yeah, that
we
would've
have
been a good
an
question
idea,
for
and then
what
the
our
next
here.
meeting, I guess.
Joel, I just have a,
All in favor?
the vote
Are you-
out
are
of
you in the motion
thing
or
was
not?
just to
Okay,
get.
I'm sorry, hold on. Alright, so,
This is-
well,
this is
I'm
the problem.
abstaining from voting, I'm abstaining from voting on
Okay,
this.
well, let's finish it.
So-
If you wanna abstain, that's fine.
I already
We
said
have- I don't
abstain.
know. Are you okay with waiting until the nominations for, till?
It's not what they're doing.
Let's wait. Okay. 3-1.
So you're waiting.
So we're waiting until
What's-
the,
My other thing was, the whole point of me saying
Okay,
add me
now,
to the
it's the next
board,
meeting, right?
what, oh, sorry.
It's the next meeting.
Till next, we don't know when the next meeting is.
Oh, okay, wherever it is.
January.
In January sometime.
If you, the question should just be, the whole point last meeting, I was, if you need help, add me to the
Yeah.
board, if more votes, cause you're like this and that. If you don't need help with the counting, then you don't need to appoint a board member to election, so it's up,
I need
Right.
help with the counting. So a treasurer doesn't need to be a board member.
so then appoint a temporary treasurer then, if you guys need that.
What's I'm gonna do? It's
Right.
not, I wanna make sure he knows, he wants to do it first, before he sees the program, yeah.
He can look at the books.
Yeah, any of us can look at the book, if
Yeah.
we're given them, so.
But,
Alright, so that's it.
alright, so when do you go to the next meeting? In January?
I'll be gone the third, through the tenth.
Isn't there something in the rule books that tell you what to do?
So that's what's in the bylaws, that's what I was going under. And it says that the new members are always voted on a point at the annual meeting. That's why I said no last meeting.
For when there's vacancies, but you didn't. read
I
that.
didn't get that far into it. I just read the election part. And then Larry brought that up.
Again, you know,
Okay. So next meeting, when do you wanna do it?
January, is Wednesdays okay? I mean,
Tonight's a Wednesday,
14th?
January 14th.
January 14th, Wednesday?
Yes.
Or the 21st, or what, I don't, I
Let's
mean,
do it, yeah, do it like the 14th.
I'm out.
Yeah, do the 14th.
Because the annual meetings can be, what, the second Tuesday in February? Something like that.
we gotta make sure this is available too, so we might have to have a plan B.
Exactly. I'll see.
Alright, I'll make this, I'll make this one. Alright, I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:37 p.m. All in favor?
Yeah,
What's Larry, does he have a card? I'd like to call him.
I don't know.
I mean,
I think I get it.
with Larry?
Yeah.
Write his name down.
I got his name.
Everybody sign it?
Invoke his phone.
Everybody sign it?
Okay, good shit. All right,
Alright,
bud.
I already saw one.
Kathy, is this your
Late fee.
Good.
Who's
Here's the
keeping it?
report if you want this.
That, those little ones?
All one. I'll put it out.
You know Larry's number, office number?
Alright. Here, hang on. Here's the email.
How much does he charge?
I know.
I got it. Okay, it's 561-994-4499.
Yeah.
Everybody here?
So we have a backup, so we got.
In contact with him, but I'm gonna like 3 weeks out anyway.
Yeah. Maybe Barb, ask Barb.